Nice guy. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast down for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. My name, I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheen Ajame. I'm the question asker. And we have our cast and our crew going to be in with us in just a few minutes. And we got a couple of things we're going to cover today. Got a couple of things I want to cover today. And one, I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start it off. This is Friday, so I'm gonna start it off like this. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Dante. Good morning to each and every one of you. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. I want to ask y'all this question because it's a conversation that's been going on for a long time. Good morning, David. Good morning to you. Want to ask y'all this question. And brothers, I want y'all to call in and give me your input on it as well. 508-924-3521 is the phone number. 508-924-3521. What is and I'm gonna say it for the sake because I'm a black man. I'm gonna say it like this, but it could be white, orange, purple, green, whatever. But what this definition that everybody, these ladies are always walking around here talking about? Y'all can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. What is a strong black woman? Dante, good morning to you. What is a strong black woman? What does that encompass? What because a lot of times I hear ladies say, most men can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. I'm a strong black woman, and that's why they can't deal with me because they don't know how to deal with me because they weak men. What exactly does that mean? I mean, I've been married for 26 years now, and I know that a lot of people look at the young lady that I'm married to. You know, she not don't she not real outspoken. You know, she stay to herself a lot and stuff like that until she get to know you, and then you find out who she is. But my thing is, I look at her as a real strong black woman. Now, but she's not all boisterous and out there hooping and hollering and doing all kind of things. She don't do all that. She don't do all that. She don't have to. If I say I'm a strong black man, if I say that I'm a strong black man, do I have to tell you that, or will my actions display that I'm a strong black man in the things that I do? So that's my question. If you are, and I'm not saying the sisters are not strong. I'm not saying that, but my thing is, if you are a strong black woman, do you have to voice it? Do you have to say it? Do you really have to put it out there? Do you have to always pound on your chest and say that you are a strong black woman? Um, a person that's intelligent, a person that's very intelligent, they don't have to tell you they're intelligent. Watch them. Watch them. They don't have to tell you. A person that has certain characteristics, they don't have to sit there and beat on their chest and tell you that they're that. Why would you have to do that? If that's what you are, your actions, the way that you carry and conduct yourself, is going to show that you are a strong black woman. Why do you have to? Why do you have to sit there and verbalize? Why do you have to sit there and say I'm a strong black woman? Just like I said, if a person is very intelligent, they don't have to sit. They don't have to sit there and tell you, "Oh man, you can't talk. I'm very intelligent." No, no. Their actions will show that they're intelligent. If they're scary, they ain't got to tell you I'm scared. They actions gonna show you that they're scared. So and I'm not sitting here trying to say that the women are not strong, powerful women. We have some very strong, powerful black women out there. There are. But do they have to pound themselves on the chest and at every chance they get, you can't deal with me, or they don't like me, or they can't handle me because I'm a quote unquote strong black woman. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm a strong black man, but I don't have to sit there. I don't have to tell you. Certain things some things I let pass. Because I don't say anything don't mean I don't know. I just choose not to. I pick my battles. I've learned with age to pick my battles. At one time, I'll fight you on anything. But now I've learned to more pick my battles, man. Some things ain't worth getting into no situation about. Some things ain't worth arguing. extending that energy. I talk a lot about energy. Y'all hear me talk about energy. Some things are not worth extending your energy or pouring your energy into. Dust it off and let it pass. Go on about your business. Let whoever it is go on about their business. I'm not gonna sit here and argue and fuss. One thing I'm not gonna do is sit here and argue and fuss with you. I'm not gonna do that because I know how I get in those situations, and I don't like me when I get into a heated argument. So I don't like me. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you because now we got to fight. Because I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. I'm not gonna sit here and argue. I'm just not gonna do that. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm out here getting it in, man. Just glad to see another beautiful new day, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Likewise, brother. I'm asking a question, Rico, and I know, man. Me and you had conversations based on this before, and we actually talked about this to some level, to some degree, on the Morning Glow. But what is Rico a strong black woman? And I'm talking about a lot because a lot of times, they'll let you know that they think they are a strong black woman because they'll tell you they can't deal with me because I'm a strong. But you don't have to say that. If you are a strong black woman, let your actions show that. But what is a strong black woman, Rico?
Well, that would be something that would be defined in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would depend on what situation that woman was in before you could say, "Oh man, that's a strong black woman. Look what she came out of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look what she conquered."
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with any human being. You know what I'm saying? You'll be a strong person when you overcome certain odds. You know what I'm saying? You can show your resilience. And so I think that would really have to be defined on what that person did, because every person doesn't do the same thing to show you how strong they are, or how resilient they are. It's different situations people come up out of. Like Russell Scott King was strong.
Yes.
Betty Shabazz is strong. But Ronda Rousey is strong.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? See, there's two different types of strong. You got an MMA strong, then you got a mother that hold down the house while this man is out here risking his life and saving the world and sacrificing quality time with his family. Those are two different types of strongs, examples of being strong. So it really would depend on what that person is doing. But now you asked also when you was talking, you said that about why do they do that? And I figured out a long time ago, man. Just like whenever I saw people about to get into it, man, you see one person like to do the more louder talking, and sometimes they get to rhyming with it. If you ain't got my cash, I'll beat you.
Yeah.
They're just talking real tough.
Yes, sir.
It's really a self-esteem booster. You know what I'm saying? And when you speak on it, like when the way black women do it, I'm a strong black woman. Well, they also believe in speaking into existence. So when you hear things like that, that's letting you know that they're trying to actually make themselves believe that that's who they can be. But to claim it and say that you are already that remains to be seen. So now that's why when a woman says that, she has to make sure she's consistent and practicing what she preaches, because people will be looking to see if you really are that strong black woman like you say you are. You know what I'm saying? If you got a 9-month rule, but the last 3 or 4 dudes said it wasn't but about 9 days. You know what I'm saying? You're any stronger with what you say you is. You know what I'm saying? If you say your children are this and that and they obey, but then come to find out your children then they're need to get bonded out of jail every other week. Wait a minute. You ain't being consistent. Now, maybe you being strong for putting up with it, but you ain't the strong one that you said you were. But like I said, most people will speak that positivity into existence, or try to use that to build their self-esteem or confidence to actually feel better about maybe being weak or being a coward.
And so a lot of times, and I hear exactly what you're saying. So a lot of times what I gather from what you're saying is, and I ask the question sometimes when somebody get to arguing or stuff like that, I ask them, who are you trying to convince, me or yourself? So
right.
Are you trying to convince me that you're a strong black woman, or and this is not to beat down the sisters or like that. I'm just using that as an example. But are you trying to convince me that you're a strong black woman, or are you trying to convince yourself? And what does this hoot and hollering and yelling and all, what does that have to do with proving your point? Because like I said earlier, if somebody is very intelligent, if somebody is real intelligent, Rico, they ain't got to sit here and explain to you or tell you that they are an intelligent person. They don't have to do that. If they're intelligent, it's gonna show. It's gonna spill over. You'll see it. But they don't have to, go ahead.
Officer, I think the only way people will have to really prove it is when it's being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
But to just pop out and want to just show, y'all, look, I'm intelligent, or I'm more intelligent than y'all. You know, that once again, that's another way for somebody to try to feel like they equal. So they have to pump themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
Deep down inside me, it's almost like a competition thing too. Like, not just with the strong black woman, but even with men amongst men.
Mm-hmm.
You find that in our community, for some reason, we always have to make sure that we are the head in charge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's hard to find a lot of Indians because we got so many chiefs.
Exactly.
They want to make sure that they ain't the weaker. In the room, we ain't the weakest. We the head.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find ourselves sticking our chests out. You know what I'm saying? And finding ways to compete and compare with each other, because that's a self-conscious thing. That's a self-esteem builder. Because like me, I don't size people up when I walk in a room.
Mm-hmm.
I just walk in and fit in.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I happen to take a lot of attention, or if I just happen to, have a lot of momentum, I have this power that just come with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't intentionally come in here to do it, looking to see if I can find my way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens in these men and these women. So that's why a woman, a lot of times, they want to say that about the strong black woman, because at the same time, believe me, they want to be the strongest one in the room too.
Mm-hmm. What drives this desire to want to be that, Rico? What do you think it is?
To be the strongest one in the room?
Yes. What drives that desire?
Once again, like you were saying, they need to prove it to themselves that they're not the weakest.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's something in them, it's weaknesses in them and flaws in them that they fear may show. So they overcompensate.
Mm-hmm.
They overcompensate. They get a little out of order, out of hand. They go a little extreme just to pump themselves up. And like you said, are they just trying to fool themselves, or are they trying to fool me? They're trying to do it. They're trying to do both.
Mm-hmm.
Not only, they know deep down inside they're just talking, but hopefully you believe it. Because if you're the one they need to convince, it needs to work real bad, especially if y'all about to get into it.
Mm-hmm. And you said something there, man, because a lot of times I know I got some people that I knew I grew up around, man, and I know they ain't gonna bust a grape, man. They know only way they'll fight, you have to make them. You have to make them fight. You got to make them fight, man. But they're some of the loudest ones out there, man. They're some of the come on, man. You ain't gonna do nothing, man. I done seen you run before, bro. But if you listen to the wolf ticket that they're selling, boy, they the baddest thing in the room, man. They the baddest, the loudest, and the strongest, the most powerful, and they ain't gonna bust a grape, man. What?
You beat me to it. I was just gonna say wolf ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so that's a part of that, man. I got caught up there for a second. Some just happened. Somebody just sent me a message. Sorry about that. But yeah, man, a lot of times that's what they do. They sell them wolf tickets, man. But they know they ain't gonna bust a grape in a feud fight. And they had how old people say it, ain't gonna bust a grape in a feud fight.
Fight their way out of wet paper bag.
Yes, sir.
that reminded me about like different times on the workplace, man. In the workplace, different jobs I worked at, man. You would have supervisors. Everywhere you go, man, whenever you find somebody that has a position of authority or a title, somebody always gonna abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow.
Mm-hmm.
They're either gonna be ripping off for some money, or they're just gonna be a slave driver. They're gonna be a dictator. They're just gonna be rude and aggressive because they overcompensate for something that they lacking in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have those that just sit back and bow down.
Yeah.
Just curl up. You're like, man, y'all ain't gonna say nothing about that. But then you get out to the side somewhere, man, if you say this and that to me, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna walk out there. I'm gonna do this. Next thing you know, it come up at the job. Yeah, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, boss.
Yeah.
You like, wait a minute, man. And the killing part is that might be the only person they do like that. Because everybody else done showed them, look, man, I know you're a supervisor, but believe me, you put your pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
That means everything bad that can happen to me can happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Catch the hint.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they read between the lines. Oh, what he's saying is hey, I could take that whooping.
Mm-hmm.
This title don't protect me.
Exactly.
But then all of a sudden, you still don't want to lose your job. So, well, nah, I don't want to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's another job out there, man. You ain't got to take that disrespect.
Exactly.
He call you coons and everything, you know what I'm saying? Squirrel. He got all these disrespectful nicknames. He call you and get you around and have you doing all this embarrassing when around the other supervisors, and you just putting up with it. And you know it because you're going back home and you're telling your wife, I get tired of him. If he do it tomorrow, I'm going to cuss him out. I know a man that did that, man. He sat back and went fishing with this guy that he was working for. And when that man got them out there night fishing on that boat, he used N-word like he was a black man.
Good Lord.
So the man came to me the next day. Man, I get tired every time you come around. N-word this, N-word that. F that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Next day he comes, you need to come. I got to work for you. I'll be down in a minute, boss. So he was watching the man vehicles and everything.
Wow. Yeah. That's that's a mess there, man. But you know who you but looking at it, you knew who you was dealing with, though. You knew who you was.
Man, I knew. I sat back and laughed, man. I laughed. I was like, wow. This is, I mean, because it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. I refuse to be in an uncomfortable position just to try to capitalize off of opportunity that this man can provide financially. So, you know, like I said, women do it. You know, they're in marriages with bad husbands. I'm going to leave them. Don't leave nothing.
It ain't worth it, man. Staying in a situation like that is really not worth it. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Mr. Hicks, you there?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Ghost Fam. I'm in the car trying to figure out how to turn my phone on.
Good morning to you, sir. Mr. Hicks, and I wanted to say, man, we're talking this morning about women. Strong. Yeah, exactly. And the women that walk around that and I'm just using it as an example, beating on their chest, saying that, you know, they can't deal with me, that they don't like me because I'm a quote unquote strong black woman. They could be any nationality, but I'm just using black because we black. But they say can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. I'm a strong. They can't handle me because most men can't handle me because I'm a strong black woman, and all these different things. Mr. Hicks, if a person is a strong black woman, let's say a strong black woman, why do they have to even say that? Won't they actually show that they're a strong black woman? Because I've never seen anybody that was very intelligent walk around talking about, you can't do that to me because I'm very intelligent. I'm so smart. You don't have to do that. You know, if you're smart, it's gonna show. So I'm just help me understand that, brother.
Well, I think about me when I was 14, 15, 16, growing up, right? And I would tell everybody I was a man. You know, I was trying to carry myself. I'm a man. I'm a man now. My mom would say, you smell your underarm, don't you, son? And, you know, I think that when you're not sure what you are, you advertise. You verbalize it because you're not sure. You're trying to fake it till you make it kind of thing. I think about most times in my life when I've blown real good opportunities because I had a thin skin.
Yeah.
And I had the thin skin because I was insecure inside myself. I didn't know it. I thought I was secure. You know, you talk bold, you act bold, you say I'm bold. But I find that most time that people advertise like that, it's covering up insecurity. I mean, and that's just based on my own experience. When I beat my chest and talked about how tough I was and trying to pump myself up, it was really insecurity. Because when you're secure in yourself, you don't take things so personal because you recognize that whatever the person is saying is not about you. It's really, they're really showing you where they are. And where they are in their experience developing, you don't take it. I wish I could have had that when I was younger. If I had one thing, I would pick my battles.
Yeah.
I would pick them on the deal. I just wouldn't react. React to man, people knew my button. You could push my button. You talk about my mother, they knew you were gonna have a hard time. They know it. And they would take the time to do it when they know you're going to act out, they're going to hurt yourself with it. I'll call you a nigga. I'll call you one of those ends.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, you call me that, we're going to fight.
Okay, where you at?
Sir?
I say, don't matter where you at. It's going to be a fight.
Oh, right in the middle, right with cops standing there, and they put you right in the handcuffs. You can't explain. Yeah, it's. I think our biggest battle in life is trying to keep ourselves together with so many attacks coming from us. You know, from all around us, from our peers. You know, I mean, the schools I went to in Newark, New Jersey, there were schools where if you were weak, you're gonna be bullied. You know, that if you were smart in class, you're gonna be bullied.
Wow.
And if you didn't have the right coach, so you have to develop. I had to develop my self-esteem to avoid becoming them. But I think I told you once about my first experience in being a bully.
No,
with the kid in, man, I saw stars and birds flying around my head. And believe it or not, I thank God for that lesson because I was never the same anymore. That guy beat my foot.
Look at you, look, you're gonna learn today. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I learned. That's one of my favorites. I'm learning by a group. I'm learning how to love.
Exactly. Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Okay.
Wake up, man. Where you at?
The day the dollar short.
Yeah, we missed you yesterday, brother. We missed you. It must have been one of them days at work yesterday, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. I had enough to deal with.
There you go. Toussaint, I'm asking a question. We're talking about quote unquote strong black women and the ones that'll tell you. And we're saying black because we black. It could be white, polka dot, stripe. But I'm using that as an example. But Toussaint, why would a woman have to come up to you and say that most people can't deal with me, most people can't handle me because I'm a strong black woman? Why do they have to say that? Because, like I said earlier, the example I used earlier, if somebody's very intelligent, if somebody is smart, they don't have to come up to you and tell you, you know, I'm smart. You know, I'm a smart person. They don't have to tell you that because their actions are going to show you that they're smart. So why do most women have to say that, you know, you can't handle them or can't deal with them because they are quote unquote a strong black woman? Why do they have to verbalize that?
Because they love the song, What Do the Lonely Do at Christmas?
Lord. Okay.
Oh, boy, all of them nights alone. Strong and mighty. And we got some men just like that. Let's not discriminate. I mean, we just, and I think my brother just said that, we stuck on ourselves. And so I won't, you know, throw rocks at the women because I know a lot of strong, if you want to say black women, that eat popcorn and sandwiches and cake and pie and ice cream all night long while they be strong and pet the puppy. Because that's the only one can deal with them. They're strong. But they're strong, though. Got a big bank account. I have a fine car at the house. It's a huge.
Wow.
And they walk around and they sweep the same floor over and over again. And play that same song. It is again. What do the lonely do at Christmas?
Wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
You throwing blows this morning, brother. You throwing blows this morning. But we got a sister on. I wonder what the sister was at this morning. Miss Annette, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Very well.
Annette, you walked into a conversation now. I don't know if you're ready for this one now. I'm gonna ask you the question though. I'm gonna ask you the question. Are you ready for the question?
Let's go.
Why do some women, and you're a woman, so we get it from a woman's perspective right now, which is great. Why do some women have to feel the need to verbalize the fact that I'm a strong black woman, that most people can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. Most men can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. I gave an example. I said, if somebody is intelligent and very smart, they don't have to tell you that they're smart. Their actions are going to show you that they're smart. So why is there a need for certain women? Not all, but why is there a need for some women to say, I'm a strong black woman? Why do they have to verbalize that?
Probably when there's a lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a lack of understanding, I think what do they say? A hurt dog will holler.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that there are some underpinnings of areas in which things have happened, in the experience of relationships that make a black woman have to say, well, I'm a strong black woman, I'm this, I'm that. To your statement, you don't have to say that you're a strong black woman. I believe that is a defense argument. And of course, it could be an offense argument too, to say that I'm equally able to stand beside you and prosper at the same time. But then juxtaposed to that is a black woman, or a woman period, doesn't ever need to feel that she's in competition with a man. That's out of order.
And I think that's where the problem. I think that's where the problem comes in. You hit something right there. I think that's where the problem. It becomes a competition. But go ahead, sister. That's powerful right there. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think it's a training that needs to happen. The Bible talks about it, the elder women should teach the younger women, and I believe that women, it's okay to go back to school, because I've been watching Married at First Sight, and I don't know if I would do that, but it seems like that arranged marriages do work for the sustainability of lineages, and so often we don't think about how you can match make. And so I think a lot of times people bring that the baggage with them of other things, and I do think that black women have to say, you know what, I don't need to prove myself, right? Let me be that lady. Let's take it from we know we're a woman, but it's time to be that lady who can just kind of listen and observe and have fun.
Do me a favor, and I'm glad that you're on here, because you're a young lady and you could do this much better than I think you're more qualified to do this than any of the guys that's on here. Define in your explanation, in your knowledge, infinite knowledge. I want you to explain to me the difference between, not to me, but to my audience, the difference between a woman and a lady.
Well, the difference between a woman and a lady, first of all, it really starts at birth. Should I say? So there is how you grow. Okay, I will say this is how you grow. You become a woman when you go through. You become a woman when you go through experiences, whether it be childbirth, whether it be marriage, whether it be getting your degree, whether it be gaining a skill. You go through that womanhood when you get probably, I would say 30. Okay, I would say 30, you come into your womanhood. Now, being a lady starts earlier because it's a training. So it's tied to your manners. It's tied to when you sit down in a seat, how you cross your legs. It's tied to when you let a man open the door. It's tied to when you have your tongue isn't seasoned with salt, but it's seasoned with honey. So that ladyhood starts as a young girl.
Wow, that's good.
Knowing that how to heed to authority, how to have value for yourself, where your hygiene is clear, where you're putting on clean clothes, where you're working out. So the ladyhood starts even when you're at work, how you let a man say what he needs to say in the boardroom. So there's a whole lot of rudiments to become a lady, you know, where you're comfortable within yourself internally. So that ladyhood starts internally to know that you are good enough, that you have unalienable rights, that you're being molded, you know, like clay.
Wow, that's good. Rico, I know you're jumping at the bits, brother. What's on your heart?
You know, I was thinking, man, you know, there are so many different examples of why a woman would call, or reasons why a woman would call themselves a quote unquote strong black woman. You know, it's two different ways you can look at it. You can look at it as just a title, or you can look at it as an actual experience, a way of life. You know what I'm saying? So some people just took that and they wear it as a title. Some of these same strong black women are the same ones that's saying I'm a queen. Some of these same strong black women that say they're a queen are saying, well, why is it we hoes when we sleep with 8 different men, but y'all ain't? Cause they strong black women and y'all can't put up with a strong black woman. Like, you know, I had a woman tell me one time that I was insecure if I judged a woman by how many bodies she had. That means if I met a woman that looked just awesome, and she tell me, you know what, I got a pass. I done bodied 2,000 people.
Wow.
And I said, oh, no, wait a minute, man. You know, you look good in this and that, man, but I don't like nobody to behave to carry themselves like that. What's wrong? You don't think you can carry your load? You don't think you can come behind somebody? You insecure? You can't deal with a strong black woman?
Wow.
Well, when we doing it, y'all can't take it. You said it a second ago, when women start trying to compete with men. So they start using that as a slogan instead of really thinking about it as in the way of a woman that really is strong. Because women, there are some very strong black women. Yeah. I have met some women that have had experiences way worse than mine. Women that had been impregnated by their fathers and brothers and cousins, and you know what I'm saying? Women that, I mean, all the different things that can happen to a woman. Not just dealing with other women, but just dealing with other men and their family and on the outside. I listened to the stories that my grandmother told me about when she grew up in that era, where men could do things to you and then say, well, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna believe you do nothing about it because I'm white. Wow. And then to see what she produced and what she put up with from my granddaddy, that wasn't the best granddaddy. I've seen some of his dysfunction too. He had an experience. So I sit back and I say, you know what, man, my grandmama probably didn't get past the 6th grade. But man, she was a strong, intelligent black woman, because you could be labeled with the stereotype.
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes let people know in order to respect you. Yeah, some people do it to cover up flaws and being insecure, you know, weaknesses. Yeah, everybody did. I think everybody does that to a certain extent too. Some people use it for motivation to build themselves up, so they will fight back or they will stand up. Sometimes they have to boost themselves up. They have to talk that talk before they finally say, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like Fred Sanford did Woodrow. Are you a man or you a cream puff? I'm a man. I'm a man.
Yes, sir.
He went over there, he did his man thing, but he finally got his courage up. Elsa did that 1-2 on him, though. But he finally had to motivate himself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's liquid courage. I mean, it's so many different ways that people have to build themselves up and motivate themselves to do the things that they're afraid to do, to come up out of that shell.
Exactly.
And then some people use it for a shield of protection. But I think the biggest thing is that you have to look at the experience and why or what a woman has done, or a man, to say that they're a strong black woman, or to say that they are a queen or a king or whatever. So a strong black man. So yeah, I think you have to. You don't really have to just ask them why, but look at the reason and under the context of why they said it. If they said it just to toot their own horn, they probably covering up for somebody. If they said it because they had to let you know, wait a minute, I know it don't cost this much to fix this car, because my dad had taught me how to fix cars. I'm a strong black woman. I am not dependent on you that bad. I just tried to patronize you and you try to rip me off. That's when a woman might have to prove she's a strong black woman.
Wow.
I could have did them brace myself. All you did was this, all you did was that. Honey, I worked at Honda. I put cars together. That's a
Mhm.
strong black woman that can go out here and let people know that, nah, you ain't fixing to get over on me because I'm a woman.
Good deal.
Especially because you think I'm a black woman. And, you know, what that man told Navy, she was a welfare queen. She had to let him know I'm a strong black woman. And you up in my office looking for therapy. I ain't asking you for help. You need my help.
Good deal.
How
Good
much
deal.
welfare can I get out of helping you? So, I mean, I listen to Toya and I listen to Cassandra's stories, man, and listen, there's a lot of strong black women out here. They got the right to say it. It's just a matter about why they're saying it, when they're saying it, and what they're saying it for.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Love to have your input. Toya with a T, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. We're asking the question this morning. What is a strong black woman? What is a strong black woman? And I'm using it in this way right here, because a lot of times you'll hear a lot of women, and I'm saying black because we black, it could be white or whatever, but that's the context we're using it in right now. But a lot of times what happened is they'll say, well, you know, most people can't deal with me, most men don't like me or can't handle me, or the job don't like me because of this, because I'm a strong black woman. Now, I also said that if a person is an intelligent person, I've never seen somebody that's very intelligent get in front of a room of people and say, I'm an intelligent person, I'm a very intelligent. They don't have to do that, because, you know, it shows. So what is the need, or why is there a desire for some women to have to verbalize, I'm a strong black woman? Why is that necessary?
I don't know. Most people do not credit themselves in that way. You know, a lot of people don't give themselves that credit. Somebody else will call them black and strong, but most of the time, you know, we don't consider ourselves to be that at times. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful, queen, black, you know, simple stuff that we are. Most of the time, we don't look or think that we are that. So I don't think a lot of black women say I'm a strong black woman. You know what I'm saying? I think they may say, you know, whatever the specific thing is, you know, I'm smarter than that, you know what I'm saying, or what I'm not. But when it comes to giving ourselves compliments and acknowledging ourselves, that's hard for a lot of us. So I don't know why. But again, it's like what Rico said, depends on, you know, what's the text. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're trying to downplay women or black women, you know what I'm saying? And of course, yeah, I'm going to mention about me being a strong black woman. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's in the moment of defense. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's a little bit different because oftentimes we can't take credit for ourselves. Most of us are going to be humble. You know what I'm saying? But unless it's in the opposite, in the position of, you know, defending myself or defending, you know, what the stereotype is or something like that, you know, then it's different, like, right? So an example real quick. I was at work the other day in the restaurant. The guy was like, oh, I need to ask you something. We grown. I said, what's that? This grown person who don't know me. It was two of them. He says, you look like you got good stuff.
Ooh.
I said, well, you look like you look like I could get all your money. Then he said, oh, that's the stereotype. I said, well, didn't you just stereotype me? So now my response could have been, what you think? I'm one of these? I'm a strong black woman. I'm not no, you know what I'm saying? So I think at times it's about the position you're in on why you're saying it. We don't normally just walk around tooting our own horn, talking about we this, we that. Now, there are a few people who just are what you call conceited. You know what I'm saying? They into themselves. You know what I'm saying? And they do all this extra boasting on the outside, but 9 times out of 10, that's just the M&M. Strong, crunchy shell on the outside, soft, milky peanut on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It just be like that sometimes. But yeah, I think it's in a position, you know, in I got to say, especially black women, we don't credit ourselves a lot when it comes to being smart and strong. So I think that you know what I'm saying, you won't really catch us saying that unless we're coming from a position of defense, describing who we are.
Okay. It's good, and it's a lot of different ways. We got a couple of other people I want to get to them as well, but I'm gonna come back to you, Toya. And when I come back to you, I want you to explain why is there a need to have to even to even have to defend something that you know is already obvious. But let me go, keep going, keep circling, because I got a few other people that's holding on right now. Captain, good morning, sir. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good deal, good deal. We're asking a question about a strong black woman. And why is there a need for a young lady to have to verbalize the fact that I'm a strong black woman? I'm a strong. You can't do me like that. Most people can't deal with me, or most people can't handle me because, quote unquote, I'm a strong black woman. Most men can't handle me because I'm a quote unquote strong black woman. Why is there a need? Because, like I said about the person that's intelligent, you'll never hear them saying that how intelligent they are. They'll just show you. You'll see it in their everyday walk. So why, Captain, do you think there's a need for our sisters to have to say I'm a strong black woman?
Well, if you're looking at the time we live in there now, our women are going through some very difficult times.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the women have to deal with, especially our women.
Mm-hmm.
She has to get with the fact that she has to raise children in a single parent home without the aid of a man. She has to fight systematic racism. She has to fight the stereotype, as Sister Tanya was talking about, Sister T was talking about. You know, people have a stereotype about black women. She has to fight the perversion or the growing sexual perversion and images that are being displayed that this is black women. They like to twerk. They you know, I mean, she's battling. She's a very, she's target of a lot of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. I mean, she's got more on her plate than I would say we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy for us to abandon our responsibility and go and get on a game and find ourselves in strip clubs. We can find a way to get away from the responsibility that we have. But she can't run from her responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
She can't. She got children. She has to be strong. And even though we do not give her the necessary credit that she is due, but if it wasn't for the black woman, we would not survive slavery.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one responsible to get us to where we are today. And do she get credit? It hurts me to see videos where I see she's being beaten and men hitting her, and she's becoming a target of every kind of abuse that you can think of. So to see her survive all of that and then some, we must tap our head off to the black woman.
Mm-hmm.
We as men are going nowhere without her.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you, strong black women, for being there for us, for putting up with our madness, raising our babies, being there and taking care of the business of keeping the dignity and the pride of our culture somewhat intact. And you do it with such poise and such grace. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
A strong black woman is our women. I'm so honored and proud that God gave her to us. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Now, Cassandra, we're talking about strong black women. Why is there a need for a young lady to have to verbalize, I'm a strong black woman? Most men can't deal with me because, quote unquote, I'm a strong black woman. You can't treat me that way because, quote unquote, I'm a strong black woman. Why is there a need for a young lady to verbalize that?
I think it was Toy that said, I agree with her. A lot of times when you hear women say that, it's a defense mechanism because she's been under some type of attack. I totally agree that most black women do not credit themselves. And this may sound crazy, even what we call the strongest, some of the strongest black women are sometimes insecure about who they are and what they are, and because they've allowed society to dictate who they are and what they are. And if you don't have this, you're not that. And if you, but I I find that usually when a black woman has to say that, it's strictly out of a defense mechanism. That's all. She's under attack and she's trying to, defend herself. But yeah, black women don't walk around, just I'm a down black woman. I don't need this. I don't need no man. That's a defense mechanism. That's a defense mechanism.
What is
I
she
totally
fighting
agree.
against?
And I think Cap and Rico, for what they said, and Cap hit it right on the head. We don't give ourselves the credit, and we're not given the credit for the things that we do in this society.
And that's absolutely true. And y'all need to be lifted up to a much certainly a higher regard when it comes to that. But what is the defense that we're speaking of, though? You say it's the defense mechanism. Why is there a need for a defense mechanism?
Because we have people that abuse us, whether it's verbally, physically, whatever. And sometimes you just have to stand up and say, "Listen, you are not going to do this to me." And I don't care if it's on a job. I've had to stand up for myself on a job because I was, spoken to in a condescending manner, just because I was a black female and she was a white female, and she was, a director, you understand, and I was a manager. She felt like she had the right to talk to me. And then she used the thing that almost got her knocked to the floor. She said, "You people." What? You understand?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a defense mechanism. We have to at some point stand up and say, "You know what? This is not going to continue to happen. I'm not going to let you do that to me." So that's what I mean when I say defense mechanism.
Good deal. Toussaint, and that's good. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm trying to maintain, but you take, for instance, Cassandra and Toya. They don't have to say it. All they have to do is say a few words, and then it's obvious. And some more of the sisters said, "Come on." The strong black women, it's obvious the way they carry themselves, the way they talk. They don't have to go around and say. Matter of fact, if you do get them per se in a corner, you'll find out that, okay, now I'm sweet as can be, but you're not gonna run me over, and I'm not nobody's doormat.
Come on.
You're not or sex symbol, or no. We're not gonna go there because I'm a female. I can stand on my own. I appreciate your help, but that's not necessary because I know who I am. Strong black women know who they are, so they don't have to say that. On the other hand,
we got two hands now. We got two hands.
There are some that I heard my sister talk about how they cross their legs. They hadn't even heard anything about crossing their legs. You talk about you strong. Stop burning water. You can't even fry an egg. Your bed ain't made. You got long nails and you pretty as all get out. You're talking about bang. But you talk too much. You run your mouth. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Go ahead, Annette. Go ahead.
Hey. No, he knocked it down. And the reason he knocked it down, because I'm thinking of my grandmother. And my grandmother had 9 children. And I don't ever remember hearing her talk too much. She was a seamstress. And her prudence, her humility, She didn't have to say anything. All she had to do was enter a room. And I love that when women can enter a room and they don't have to say anything. And there is the swarm to even engage in conversation. The old school still rules. So the brother before, yes, I think it's important. We don't have to mouth off, because the bottom line is sometimes we need to pray. And matter of fact, I do believe all the time we need to pray and ask God, what would He have us to say? Now, there's certain times where, I must admit that Black women do have to buck because they're being taken advantage of. But what I have realized is, sometimes that for us today, it might be best to write a letter. It might be best to write a heartfelt letter so that you can get what is in you out of you, so that it doesn't destroy you, so that it doesn't take you from your capacity, so it doesn't take you from your dreams and goals and desires, because these type of things can cripple a woman when she has to say that I'm a strong Black woman. Guess what? The Bible says, hey, when you're weak, God makes you strong. So sometimes we don't always have to be strong. I think there's a time where we as women can be those damsels in distress and let that man carry you to the finish line.
Exactly. Okay, that's good. The damsel in distress. Wow. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, that there is a necessary time for a woman to defend her honor, or to get respect by reminding people of that. Because, sometimes people can take your kindness for weakness. And in the process of you being professional, or being politically correct, not want to keep the etiquette together of the atmosphere, you will bite your tongue. Like Navy did the other day. She said the man had already pushed her buttons and tried certain little things before he finally got bold enough to call her a welfare queen. See, it took her to, she let him ride with a lot of that. So then she had to show him. Now, she would have had every right to say it also. Since he accused her of being a welfare mom, she would have had every right to show him that she wasn't, because that was a stereotype that goes along with Black women. She had every right to say, I'm a strong Black woman, defending her honor. On the other side of this, like Dawn said, you have some women saying it to justify their debauchery. So, I don't like to put people under an umbrella, because I think about the slogan. See, it's being used as a slogan. You know what I'm saying? You could be a strong Black woman, or you could be a proud Black man. Some men actually had a right to say it at the right place and time, and then some people use it as a slogan, just to build up their confidence and their self-motivation. But I always think that if we put everybody on an umbrella, then that gives some people that don't deserve that title a right to continue. I'm going to repeat, continue using it as a slogan and not having it, and so the words don't have the value that they used to have. See, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, they ain't strong Black women. My baby mama, the one that's doing what she doing with my son and me, she ain't no strong Black woman. She a monster. But see, I done heard it come out of her mouth. I take care of these kids, and I do this and that, and I do this and that, and you put yourself in a situation where you got to do this, and then you won't even allow the people that's supposed to help, like me. But you a strong Black woman because you're doing it on your own. You're doing it on your own because hey, look, I don't even know where he is. And I want to know, so that's a choice you're making. But she wants to use that. So, you have those women that will go up under that same umbrella as the women that lifted up. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have. No, some of them ain't got that mindset. They don't want to tear us up, and they still calling themselves strong Black women.
Wow.
Because they're making a little money, they got a little power control, got some benefits, got some advantage, got some access, and that will make you feel strong when you could take a child from the other parent and just do as you please. Because that's your child. That's a lot of power. Power make you feel strong. Some of them women use that too, that same slogan. I ain't finna put them up under that umbrella.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like all of us men can't fit up under the umbrella of being proud, strong black men.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us out here some buffoons.
Exactly. Let me do this because we got quite a few people that's actually tuning in. So I'm going to tell my timer, keep everybody in the 3-minute window. We got quite a few people that want to be a part of this conversation, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We got Navy. Navy just called in. Navy, good morning. How you doing this morning? Rosalind, coming to you next.
Good morning, y'all. I'm all right. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We're talking about strong black women, and the ones that get out there and say, most people can't deal with me. Most men can't deal with me because I'm a quote unquote strong black woman. People in the society can't deal with me because I'm a strong black woman. I said that a lot of times, if you have something is wrong, if you have to verbalize it, because I've never seen an intelligent person get in front of the room and say, I'm a very intelligent person. They don't have to. Their actions will show. Their actions will show. So Navy, tell me, why is it necessary for a woman to have to say I'm a strong black woman? Why is that necessary?
Honestly, I don't know if it is necessary. Because that's not. I'm gonna just be honest. Like that's not verbiage that I use. I honestly don't know any women in my circle or that I have met otherwise that honestly use that term.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that it started out as a term of endearment to be labeled or called a strong black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like there was actually a research study done back in like 2010, called the Superwoman Schema.
Mm-hmm.
And they were literally taking a bunch of black women from, I want to say it was in New Orleans, trying to figure out how were they able to go to school, run a household, start businesses, do all of this stuff and not be like on the floor exhausted. Or they were literally these women trying to figure out how black women existed in this world and how they ran their day to day, because for other women they were having a hard time just taking the kids to school and getting dinner on the table. But yet you had these black women that were running companies, going to school, taking the kids off, taking care of the home and all that good stuff. So I think that the term, I don't even know if it came from a black woman, to be honest with you. I feel like that this was something that media and society placed on black women and that we had to live up to. That's just my personal opinion of it, because I honestly do not know black women that go around and saying that I'm a strong black woman for whatever reason. If my energy can influence the room, then there's no need for me to like tell you anything. How you carry yourself, how you speak, how you go about your day, that tells all that I need to know, or what anybody needs to know right there. I don't have to go around saying that I'm a strong black woman. Now, for those women that may feel the need to, maybe that's the only positive thing that they had to hold on to. I don't know. I can't speak for them, because I honestly don't know women that go around using it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Love what you said there, sis. Definitely appreciate that. Rosalind, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Hold on, let me put you in my good ear. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. Yeah, put me in your good ear. I want to be in your good ear this morning. Let me be in your good ear. But what do you say to that, man? Why is there a need? Why is there a need for a young lady? And why is it necessary for a young lady to say I'm a strong black woman in any situation? Why is it necessary?
I'm just gonna piggyback off Navy. I mean, you don't have to go around parade on saying that it's gonna show. And I've never met I met Navy, but never met you all in person. But the way that I talk, or the way that I carry myself via social media, you can tell I don't have to say that all the time. I don't have to tell you that I get up at 4:00 in the morning and start my day. I don't have to tell you that I get my daughter dressed. I'm getting dressed. I'm eating in the process of doing all this. I don't have to tell you I put my daughter on the school bus and I'm off to work. And then when I get off work, I fix dinner. We do homework. We take baths. I'm cleaning up. I don't have to tell you all that, because you all know that. So we don't have to say it verbally that we're strong black women, because it's going to show. Now, it's the way your kids
It's the way your kids are out shown in public. If your child is out, hair all sticking up on the head, hair nap, the boys hair nappy, they walking around snotty nose, dirty clothes. Is their mom a strong black woman? No. So it's gonna show. You don't have to parade it around. You don't have to say it.
That's good.
So just what Navy said, we don't. The people that we have in our circle, we don't verbally say that because it's gonna show. Even when you walk in a room, it's gonna show.
Okay, just your mere presence.
Exactly.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Why do you think it's necessary for a lady to have to say I'm a strong black woman?
Why I would think it's necessary? I don't think it's necessary. I wouldn't think it would need to be.
Okay.
It sounds really like that. Just sounds really awkward to me. But then again, depending on the men they're surrounded by, I guess they would have to.
Why is that?
Not all men are paying attention or thinking with the right head, especially in this day and age.
Badger. Come on, Badger.
And it's a lot of times it's hard for me to keep up with. So no. For me, for instance, I like to have intelligent conversations. If a woman can't have an intelligent conversation with me, a lot of times I'm like, not my type, not my thing. So it's I don't. So for me, the way I weighed things when I was single, if they were willing to do the thing within that 24-hour period or within that week of getting to know each other or anytime in that range, that let me know that they was not strong.
Okay. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I really can't add any more than what everyone has said. I'm trying to remember. Navy. Was it Navy? I think it was Navy. And Rosalind, they really nailed it. They put it perfectly. You know, what we do says it all, actually. So there's no need to go around saying it, you know, that I am a strong, but no, you don't have to do that. Your life, there's an old saying, let my life speak for me. I think most strong black women, their lives speak for them without them saying a word.
Okay. Cassandra, is there a possibility that this quote unquote strong black woman that we're talking about could end up being by herself because she could run all the other people away from her, companions or spouses or whatever, run them away? Is there a possibility that could happen as well?
Yeah, that's a small percentage of women, and you know, we need to make that clear. The amount of women that are like that, like they're so dogmatic about, you know, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, I don't blah 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 blah. That's a very small percentage. I mean, most of the sisters I know, they are not like that. They desire to have somebody there. They desire to have people to interact with that they can trust. And I mean, that's just it. So that small percentage, is very small percentage of black women that are like that. That's exactly what they are. They're a small minority.
Okay. Good deal. Kat, what's on your heart?
You know, I really, I was just thinking as Cassandra was talking, man, we are some blessed men on the Morning Glow. I mean, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
We are very blessed, Brother Raheem, to be graced with the presence of these strong Black women. They're very humble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're very humble. They share their personal experiences, and they get up with a smile on their face every day. And the beautiful thing about these women, I know I can't mention all y'all's names, but y'all know who y'all. Everybody, all the women that comes on here every morning, you know, they rooted in God.
Yes.
They're rooted in God. And what hurts me, Brother Raheem, is not that they are intimidating. They're not intimidating. They're just intimidating to those who don't want to step up as men to the plate to be men.
And
Come on, Captain.
See, that was my next question. Yep. That was my. Mm-hmm.
They got to constantly, you know, reduce themselves down to try to fit into a society of acceptance because the men have not stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to say to every woman on this line, maintain your dignity.
Yes.
Hold your position.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go down. Keep going up. Force us as men to step up our game.
Mm-hmm.
And never reduce yourself down to bargain basement price.
Mm-hmm.
You still in the showroom. Stay in the showroom. Let us be able to say, look at there, look at there, look at there.
Mm-hmm.
And then let us turn over the tag and oh, that's a hell of a price right there now.
Yeah.
If you want it,
Mm-hmm.
you step up your game.
Exactly.
I'm so proud, man. No, she don't have to tell you who she is and what she is. The very fact that she has maintained such poise and such dignity that I'm so proud to know, man. I get an opportunity to come on this show and to hear these brilliant women. I listen to the Maya Angelou. That's who's on this line. I listen to the Rosa Parks. That's who's on this line. I listen to the Eric Tubman Soldier. That's who's on this line. I listen to, think about Martin Luther King's wife, Claretta. Think about Malcolm X's wife, Betsy. That's who we got on this line.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you every day, Brother Raheem, for giving us the opportunity. And I got some bad boys on this line too. I ain't going to shortchange Rico and Baz and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank you for giving us the opportunity to show appreciation. And I really, really mean that from the bottom of my heart because it makes me appreciate my wife put up with my crazy butt every morning, you know.
Yes,
and I
sir.
look at what she goes through and she don't do it like, man, here I go. I got to go behind you, pick up the damn underwear. But she don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
She do it in a nice way, let me know that I need to step up my game.
Mm-hmm.
But without a strong Black woman, how could we ever produce a strong family and for strong children? Thank you, Raheem, for even giving me a chance to say this. Hey, to all you women on this line, if y'all can see me right now, I'm standing up. I salute y'all. You ain't got to brag who you are. Just be yourself.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to God be the
Hey,
glory.
Raheem.
Yes.
Hey, this is Rosalind. You know I'm off to my babies, but I'm gonna pass the collection plate because Captain just said. I'm talking about. He just said it. Thank you, Captain.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm putting my one finger up because I got to get out to work. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday.
You do the same, sis. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. We got another caller from the 678 area code 678. What's your name? Where you calling from? 678 area code. I think it's Makita.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Makita, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Makita, we're asking the question: what is a strong Black woman, and why is it necessary for a young lady to even have to verbalize the fact that she's a strong Black woman? Some in some instances, she say, most people can't deal with me because I'm a quote unquote strong Black woman. Most men can't deal with me because I'm a strong Black woman. I've never seen anybody that was very intelligent get in front of a room and have to verbalize the fact that they are a very intelligent person because it shows. So why is it necessary that some women have to say I'm a strong Black woman? What's the necessity behind that?
I would say, because I've said it in the past before, So I would say reasons why I have said it in the past because I've had to do everything for myself, and not having any help or anything like that. So no matter what comes up in life, I had to keep moving. Because it was only me, my kids depended on me, I got to work, I got to, take care of the house and everything. So I would say, being a strong woman, you're looking at that point, because I don't relate to that now, but when I did, it's just, being able to keep moving, when adversity come up in life.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm glad you said it in that way. I appreciate it. What changed, or what was the transition like in you? Because you said at one point you had to say that you felt it necessary to say that. Now you don't have to say it. So what was that transition like?
That transition was me learning myself, allowing myself to be, to realize that I don't have to be strong all the time, because God started sending people my way that was able to help. And a lot of times when we are telling ourselves we are strong women, we block people from being able to come in to help us. Those people may be around, but we because we had to do it so long, we don't want to allow those people to come in. Well, through my building my relationship with God, I started sitting back and allowing myself to be softer, allowing myself to get my strength from God, to know when to, relax, know when to rest, know when to, get up and execute and be that strong woman in certain things. But most of the time, just allowing myself to really not being able to allow people to come in and help me.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate that, sister. If you can hold on. We're gonna circle back around to you. But right now, let me go to Toya. You want to talk to me, sis? What's on your heart?
Yeah, no. So I don't care what nobody. Don't make me no difference, honey. My daddy raised me to run faster, jump higher, and do it all myself. And if you feel like you don't want to be around me, that mean I run faster, I jump higher, and you can go on about your business because you're not going to be able to hang, honey. Sometimes you can't pay folk no attention, especially if they're not as high or on the same level as you. Whether it is another woman or another man.
Toya, and that's good, because it goes into what I was going to ask about next. And do you sometimes find that some women, and Cap spoke on this as well, and I'm glad he brought this to the conversation. Do you think some women sometimes have to dummy themselves down in certain elements of life in order to deal with other people that's around them, so they don't have to make that conversation? I'm a strong Black woman. Do you think they have to dummy themselves down sometimes?
Absolutely. That's a part of culture, and they teach us how to deal with men, how to get husbands. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, you got to stroke their ego. Oh, man, you got to do this. No, you're going to be a man with me, because we're going to be 100 all the way across the board. Round chill. Ain't no
Did you say round chill? Did you say round chill?
You're going to be a man, and I'm not finna play with you. Period, point blank. Wow. I have found myself, I've had several male friends over these last 4 years, and I just found myself cutting off 3 of them the other day because I just told them I'm struggling and I'm in a position I've never been in life financially. And you calling me, talking about, oh, let me hold you. When I tell you I chop them, what you want to hold me for? So you want us to drown together. If you don't get off my phone, get away from me. Get away from me, because you are not a strong version of a person I need to be around. If I just told you I'm in a bad place, and that's a woman too, right? Oh, girl, you ain't gotta be like that. You got a booty. You got a cootie cat. You ain't gotta be broke. If you broke because you want to. No. Didn't I just tell you I just learned the value of myself? And ain't nobody getting it no more.
That's right.
I need to have me a queen king by my side. And every man that know me knows that. And every time they open up their mouth talking about what they want something other than to help and love and take care of me, you're getting cut off. So for those of y'all that been listening, if you notice that I ain't responded to your answer, that's why, because you tried me.
Wow.
You know, without a shadow of a doubt, my swag, that's what we call it today, my swag reaps of strength and confidence. And you dare try me when I tell you and explain to you that I am the most critical part of my life right now. And you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's a part of a weakness on why you would try me in such a way. But people who know me, you can just look at me and tell I'm strong from around the block and down around the corner. So for someone to be a friend, or you've known me for years and you know my wishes and my desires, for you to try me, that X's you out. You understand? And I don't think that we realize this when we deal with people. I think a lot of women, I'm not gonna only just say women, men too, but right now we're talking about women. I think a lot of women are raised by their fathers and by their mothers to be strong. And I think that we downplay when we raise our boys. We raise our women up and raise our boys down. So when we get into this world and we start dealing with people, because we're strong, men will try us, right? You want to play football? Oh, get out there on that field. I'm going to show you that you're not a man. Why? Did that make you a strong man, trying to show me that you're stronger than me? Or does it make you a strong man, allowing me the same opportunity as you and just see how good I am and giving me my props? You know what I'm saying? And this is a daily cycle that we women go through on a regular basis. And I don't want to say, you know, a comment was made earlier about Cardi B and somebody. And hey, listen, I can name a
Stallion.
Yeah, stallions ain't girls. Let me just throw that out there. But anyway, I can think of a lot of women in the rap game that did not project us very well. I can think of a lot of women who did not do a lot of the right things or in bad places. But what I can't say is that I don't want to say that they're not strong Black women, because if you're alive on earth and you've been through something, that's your strength. And sometimes you need to be reminded. Sometimes you need to be reminded of your strength and who you are, because it's lost. You don't know that it's there. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when we in a way, and in a bad way, the strength it takes to endure life, no matter what avenue you are, is what builds your strength. But when you're not doing it in a positive way, this is where people are going to come and say, well, you know what? That's not strong. That's fear. That's not strong. That's greed. That's not strong. You know what I'm saying? That's ignorance, because you're willing to do these things. It takes strength, but it doesn't do anything for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So again, women, we just like men, you know what I'm saying? It can be kind of challenging, but strength, you have to endure a lot, and you cannot pay attention what nobody say, because most people are not going to allow you to be stronger than them anyway.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going, man. This is a great conversation. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you being a part of it. And the phone lines are open, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Willow, good morning, Willow. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning to you, sis. Good morning to you. We're talking about a strong Black woman, and why is there a need for a young lady to have to verbalize the fact that she's a strong Black woman? Because in reference, I said that an intelligent person has never said I'm intelligent. It just shows. It just shows. I don't have to say I'm brave. It shows. So what do you say to that? Why is it necessary?
I don't think that it's necessary, because we can make our mouth say anything. Because your mouth said it, that don't mean that you are what you say you are. And you know, in the beginning, when people meet, they want to show their best because they're attracted to that certain individual a certain kind of way. But even the strongest woman has their weakness. There's weaknesses as even in strong women. And then when you talk about strong women, what are you talking about? Because there's the physical strength, there's the mental strength, you know. But when I talk about a strong woman, and I'm going to use myself as an example, because I know that at one point I was weak after I had that nervous breakdown when I was 16. And my doctor told me, you know, I got to open up my mouth. From that point on, I felt I was a strong woman, because I said what was on my mind and what was in my heart. I was being more honest than I was being more concealing, should I say. And as I got older and as I got wiser, I knew what kind of person that I was and that I wanted to be. Now, even with you being a strong woman, I heard earlier that you asked, can you run men away? Certainly you can. You can run men away because you can, what you're actually saying is that I'm not going to let you get away with a lot of mess. But then when you find that there are men in certain relationships, I got that, okay. So when you find men that have been through something, because there are some men who are good men, but they have been through something, there's their story. And, you know, it's not so much the outside that they portray, but if we get to take that time to learn and talk to a person more, you know, first before we jump in bed. Because when I was younger, that was me. But as I got older, I realized the more you talk to a person, the more you realize we can make this work. Because a strong woman can realize the potentials of a good man that don't look like one. That's what a strong woman can do. Because she can see that there are potentials in this person that has been through something, and there's something about him that she may want to live with him the rest of her life.
Absolutely.
So put it in 3 minutes. That's what I'm gonna say right here.
Good deal. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Monique, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Monique, gotta ask you the question, sister. Why is it necessary for a lady to have to say, I'm a strong black woman? Why is that necessary?
I don't think it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel, is there a feedback or something? Seems like it's a feedback.
Turn your volume. Are you on speaker? If you have it on speaker, that may be what it is. If you have it on speaker.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think I'm good now.
Okay.
No, I don't think that we need to verbalize that. I think, honestly, I think kind of like society kind of put that out there, and then we just kind of roll with it. Because for myself, I never, you know, use that title of being strong. But I've noticed that I've had people that tell me that, you know, maybe because of my, you know, resiliency, you know, where, you know, you strong, you able to do this, you able to do that. So I think sometimes society kind of, you know, put that title on us and we roll with it. But I don't think that we should wear that title on our sleeve, because just the way we walk will show our strength and the things that we do.
That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Having a great conversation today, and I want to encourage each and every one of you, if you have a moment or two, call in. Let's talk about it. What makes a woman a strong black woman? Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir?
Harpo, who that woman?
Oh, what?
Lord Jesus. Go, Mr. Hicks.
Well, you know what I was thinking about as you talk? I was listening. I was thinking about that scene in Training Day when Denzel was wounded, and he's standing around and he started backing. He's King Kong, and they, you know, and I think that when a person and a woman in a situation where most time it's hostile for her, and she's wounded, someone said something or done something to wound her, and that's the only time that she would verbally use the words to back people off of her. You know, just and it's usually in my experience, it's usually those women that are real gentle and soft and gets along and everything. And somebody come along and push a button, and you look over in the corner of the office, right, and she is doing the Denzel on them, right? And I think it's a mechanism to push people off you. You know, you feel like they're personally attacking you on some element. When you verbalize it like that, you start saying who I am, and it's really trying to.
So it's a defense mechanism. It's like a defense mechanism.
A defense mechanism, yeah. You get, and women gotta have it in this world. A female, I raised 4 daughters. A female growing up in this society is vulnerable. I mean, Dave Chappelle made a joke. He said he did this deal at a comedy show, and they paid him $35,000 in cash, and he put it in a backpack,
is catching the subway back to wherever he's going. And he was thinking when he was walking, he was so paranoid. He said, man, I got all this stuff. He said, I can imagine how women are. Women walk around something in this wicked world that everybody value and want to steal or scheme or to get. So she's got to be, she's got to have her awareness and discernment up when to show her strength. Just to keep our weak men, and I don't mean that. I mean, I'm a man, but because we're not supporting just in terms of the social thing now with women raising kids alone. Because there's no man there, she's got to develop a strength, and usually her ideas of strength is a masculine kind of strength that's coming from the movies that we see now. All the I mean, look at all these women that's doing all these things in the movies, beating up 5 or 6 guys and shooting this one and shooting that, and it gets this kind of thing that's strength. But that's the only way I can see a person doing that. If she felt that she's been attacked or been offended, and she's got to push this guy off or push the situation off.
Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. And that, what's on your heart? And that, you there? Okay, we may have lost Annette there. I think she's still there. She may be away from her phone at the moment. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I think the longer we stay on this, the more confused I'm gonna get. Because I'm starting to think now that the slogan just came out of thin air. And I'm starting to think now the more we talk, that every black woman gonna fit up under that umbrella. Now, I think we done said plenty of times that it's a self-defense mechanism. But the more we talk now, it's starting to sound like we ain't never heard no woman say this. But I could turn on Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray, that little show they got on Fox Soul, and they could say it so much, especially when Kevin Samuels died. Oh, man, they slung it around. He criticized, he talked about a man, strong, black, I'm a strong. Man, we hear it, man, come on. It exists. And some people abuse it. They use it as self-defense. But I can say, even though we say, well, it's not necessary, I'm going to say sometimes it is necessary. This is coming from a man.
Why
not
do you say
just
that?
coming from a man, but coming from a black man to say that sometimes it is acceptable and necessary for a black woman to remind people not only are they a strong woman, they're a strong black woman, because every woman wasn't the same experience as a black woman's experience. So you still got to give yourself some respect. You still got to respect where you came from. See, if you don't realize the reason why it's even said, then it will just be a slogan. But a black woman came from a whole different experience, just like the black man. So that's what made that black woman a little stronger. And even today's woman has to go through a whole different experience that makes her a lot stronger than the average woman, because they don't have the same privileges, entitlements, and benefit of doubt that white women have. So the experience is still the same. So that you have to remind somebody when they come in your office to get therapy, because they screwed up in the head. Then you ain't just a woman that's giving them therapy, but you that strong black woman that they accuse you of being a welfare mom of, because that's what they think black women do. Nah, I'm this black woman. I ain't that. He didn't say you was a welfare white. He you know what that stereotype went with. So sometimes you got to remind people. Sometimes you got to remind your own black men. Wait a minute, do you know where we came from? So I say this to say that it is very acceptable and necessary, depending on the situation, for a black woman to remind us around the world that she is a strong black woman. It is a point in time and a place for everything. I ain't even religious, but
how did Rico, let me ask you this. Rico, let me ask you this question, brother. How was the focus lost? Because if you have to remind somebody, evidently they've forgotten, or the focus has been taken off of what it should be placed on. So how was the focus lost?
Because they didn't experience it. I mean, think about it. If they didn't live through that experience, then they ain't gonna understand what a black woman went through slavery. I mean, like I said, man, we listen. Do we read history just to sit back and think it's fairy tales and forget about it, or do we actually understand that this was an experience? We know everybody's place and classification and order that went on from the slave trade to here. We know the black experience. It is necessary for black people to remind people sometimes just what our experience was, or you just tell us to pull up our bootstraps. We might end up telling some of our sisters that sometimes brothers don't even understand what sisters don't went through because they too much concentrated on what brothers don't went through. So the sister have to remind them, I ain't just a strong woman. I'm a strong black woman. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't want to put everybody up under the same umbrella because today's woman, modern woman, might say the strong black woman from the past was stupid for what she put up with and for being submissive.
30 seconds.
For being cooperative. So they are different than that woman. They're a little bit stronger for not being so submissive / cooperative.
Wow.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong, they are strong, but they're strong in a different sense. But I will say, because I don't heard everybody on here say it ain't necessary. Sometimes it is. And this is coming from a man. Sometimes it is necessary for y'all to remind people that y'all ain't just strong women. Y'all strong black women that come from an experience and a history where you might not even know who you came from.
Good deal. Stay right there for a second, Rico. Got to keep this thing moving. I'm going to go to Navy, then I'm going to go to Marquita. Navy, what's on your heart? And let me do this. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521 is the phone number. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you're more than welcome. You are welcome to call in. 508-924-3521. Navy, what's on your heart?
A lot, but it's so like much. First of all, I can appreciate. I love the conversation. I appreciate what everybody has said. But I equate this conversation to the conversation that we had maybe a few weeks ago, whenever the men were expressing that how hard it is to be a black man and to live in this world. This is equivalent to that same conversation.
Yes.
Y'all, we are so exhausted as black women. We have to walk a fine line between the strong black woman, and you are right, Rico. It did not come from when it came from scholars. This was a term that scholars that more than likely did not look like you and I came up with the term of the strong black woman to understand, like I said previously, the mental, emotional, and physical capacity of black women. How were they able to do this and other women were not? It is so, I can appreciate the conversation because I hope that y'all hear and have really felt the proudness, but also like the exhaustion of having to walk this fine line to be just docile enough to where we're not put in that, the angry black woman stage, but yet powerful enough to not be a doormat. It is such an exhausting thing to do day by day, and dare you not be a black woman in a certain position, because then you really have to like tightrope and teeter-totter, because if you speak too much, then it's just like, well, who are you? And I hear you, Rico, whenever you say like sometimes it is necessary, but whenever we do that, it's still like a double-edged sword sometimes. So as black women, I think we just have to be comfortable in who we are and who we present from day to day. If you are evolving, sister, I salute you. If you're still trying to figure it out, okay, come hop on the line, come reach out to some of us or some that I try to surround myself with women that are where I'm trying to go. And if there's somebody else that wants to come along that may not be where we are or where I am, then come on, sis, because this may be the opportunity for you to learn something different, to get a different type of involvement. But man, it's a good conversation, but y'all, it's exhausting out here. It really is.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine, sister. I can only imagine what you all go through, because I know what we go through as men. So I can only imagine. Makita, what's on your heart, sis?
Hello?
Yes. What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
Okay. Yes. So I would just say, I think what I'm hearing about being a strong woman, I just think it's definitely a place and a time to be strong. But I think when it comes to the interaction with men and women, I believe you could still be strong but not be masculine. It's all about our delivery and how we deliver something. And it's all about our choices of what we allow to come in our space as well. Like I can say, I had somebody to inbox me. I've been friends with him for a long, long time before, you know, I was involved in my life. Well, he said something that was offensive to me, whether he knew it or not. But me being a strong woman in that moment was me not to respond, and I blocked him. That was me being strong because that was me knowing my worth and not accepting just anything.
Wow. That's
So
good.
I just think it's about the delivery and who, it depends on the person who you're talking to. Because even I experienced another conversation, you know, with a male, you know, and although I didn't want to, he wanted to go out to, he would want to go, me to come and watch a movie and eat. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want something different. Well, I was able to express that, but in a more softer way. And if you receive it, you receive it. If you don't, you don't. I think that is me showing that I was a strong woman in that moment, not just to take what you're handing or what it is that you want to do.
Exactly. That's good. And that's totally that's a great switch in how we deal with this thing. There's so many different levels on this. Being a strong Black woman, there's so many different levels, and sometimes is you have to. I see somebody got the hand up. I'm coming to you in just 1 second, but right now, Captain, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I'm like my man Rico. You know, I mean, I think I ain't gonna say we've exhausted the definition, or you know, Rico made a very good point. People always like to give a definition or narrative of what we always have to seem to address. You can remember where everything was angry black man. Who gave that definition? That every time we look around, we got to address, are we angry black men? If we listen to the definition, strong Black women, you know, it's a good reminder. I love the fact that we're going down this road because, you know, I do believe that our women are taken for granted, not by just society, but I think we as men take our women for granted. As I was listening, man, I'm going in my mind about, you know, we Black men don't know what it's like to have to carry a child in 9 months and the difficulty of childbirth, and you know, we just take it for granted. Well, that's what women do, yeah. And then at the same time, she has to deal with bringing that child up, and she can't quit on her job. We can quit, but I think, you know, in reality, what do we go from here, Brother Raheem? How does this conversation, what do we take it to the next? How do we benefit? Well, you know, I think that one of the most important things that I've learned is that we have to have more dialogue and conversation where we as men can have a better attitude about how we perceive our women. We do not protect our women. We do not show respect, not all of us. And, you know, those brothers on this line, well, I'm not talking about us. But the overall, you know, we allow society to treat our women any old kind of way. And we don't say nothing. And then we try to justify, well, you know, that's where it is. They all loud. Yeah, you know, I heard my man start talk about that sister like to run her mouth. But shit, I know men now beginning to outdo women in running their mouth. I know men that like to gossip more than women. Now I think the role has kind of flipped. But at the same time, there are women. My grandmother, you know, strong Black women back in the day I grew up with, they didn't have to say nothing. You asked the food, my mama would give you, look, my grandmama would just give you a look. She ain't had to say nothing. That look will put you in check status, you know, and I never came out of my home. I never known depressed Black women when I grew up.
Yeah.
I didn't see depressed Black women, even though the conditions was unbelievable. They weren't depressed. They came from a lineage of strong cultural women, and they passed on. Now, are we now are the women being watered down now? Are we at a stage where we don't see that kind of substance? So when we do see a strong black woman, we got to acknowledge when that was a given. We didn't have to acknowledge, oh, she's strong. Just a very fact, she's still alive and existing. She's strong. But I thank you for giving us this opportunity. But I would say, I think we exhausted it. And where we go from now? Where we go from here, Brother Ryan? Do we keep talking about strong black women? Do we talk about how can we take and get strong black men to complement that strong black woman? That's the key. How do we get strong black men to complement these strong black women on this line? And I'm not just talking about black women. I want to make it clear for those who's on this, who's listening. I'm talking about strong women. And as we look at the loss of the Queen of England, you can't acknowledge this was not a strong woman. That queen, she had to be one strong chick, excuse my language, called a chick. But she had to endure. And she had to do it. There was no controversy that came behind this queen. This woman ruled with an iron fist, but at the same time, she was, in my opinion, this is me talking, she was a strong woman. And so we don't want to just say, as we on this line, because, somebody going to go there, right? Why can't it be women? Yeah, it is true. But particularly, this is a dominant black station, and people don't hear predominant black, so I guess that's why we lean a little bit more towards our own. That's all I got to say.
Good deal. I want to go to Will.
Can I come behind you real quick?
Hold on.
Because I know you're fixing to close it out.
Yeah, but hold on for a second. I told Will I was going to come to her. I'm going to go to Will, and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Willow. What's on your heart?
Yeah, Raheem. Do you know that somebody said something about how they could feel something that's not right? But to me, you not saying nothing is worse than you saying something. When you if something's not right, always verbalize it. That way you can address the situation and the solution. When you talk about strong women, I'm like, strong women, period. I thought about even the prostitute that was on the street, that was manipulated by someone who didn't care about her. But now she came up and she's a grown woman. She's married with children. Did that make her strong? That made her strong because she was in a situation that could have broke her. So you look at yourself and you say, I've been in something, but I'm out of it now. That made you strong. See, because you want to be able to identify as a woman what is strong, what is strength. Any situation that's gotten you in where it wanted to destroy you and you came up out of it, that made you strong. Because sometimes we are, even the strong, like I said, we sometimes get in weak situations. But what makes you strong is when you come up out of it. That's what makes you strong. When you think of a solution to change something that's not right in your life, that makes you strong. If I don't have the finances and I look at the resources that there's public aid out there and I'm going to utilize it for a minute and I utilize it, but now I don't need it no more, that made me strong. So I'm looking at things in life that we utilize, that we think as women, I'm not going to stay the same. You're not going to keep me down. I'm getting up. You're not going to break me. That makes me strong. So that's what I wanted to put out there. Because we look at certain situations of a situation and say, oh, that woman's strong, but you don't know what she went through. That's what I wanted to say, Raheem.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Go ahead, Rico.
I was really thinking about when you first brought this up, it was really something to consider whether we should be looking at it as something negative or positive when we hear it. And so we express different ways that it could be looked at negatively because of the type of people that use it. And then we looked at ways that it could be looked at positively. Then we had some people that say that, you really shouldn't use it at all. But see, we got to think about that slogan, that phrase, strong black woman. That's real specific. It's specific for a reason. I'm going to introduce y'all to this book called Medical Apartheid. And in this book, they talk about different things that happened throughout the history of America when it comes to medicine towards black people. And then it's going to tell you about this man named James Marion Sims, the father of gynecology, who experimented on specific women on how to treat venereal diseases and all type of different things that comes with women's, health, your gynecology. And in the process of him doing this, they did it without giving these specific women anesthesia. These same specific women also had their babies taken from them and sold and cut out their bellies and stomped out on the ground while they was hanging. These same women. This specific group of women, not white women, not Chinese women, not Mexican women, but another group of specific women that he did these tests on to come up with a great system called gynecology. But even when he started finding out things that worked, he still wouldn't give these women anesthesia. Then he wouldn't even treat them after he did the research on them to find out how to cure these different diseases and viruses and illnesses that women had. So that means, man, black women were very susceptible and vulnerable to a different experience along with the abnormal and warped experience that they already went through. So sometimes we forget that because we don't know our history. We just say women is women is women is women. Nah, something different about that black woman. They said that she didn't feel no pain. Henrietta Lacks, they got her DNA right now, making billions and trillions of dollars off of it, creating cures and treating diseases. That's a specific woman, a special woman. You get what I'm saying? And we forget about how special that woman is. It wasn't just no any woman, but she come from the original woman. Sometimes we have to remind people who that original woman is.
Exactly.
Because if it weren't for that original woman, we wouldn't be here. That's a strong black woman. So yeah, it's a matter of if you're using it as a positive or a negative, or if you're just using it to toot your horn, to justify your terrible promiscuous behavior. We still have sometimes that it's a time and a place for it. That's why I said Ecclesiastes is about balance. A strong black woman will know balance. She will know when it is cool to submit and cooperate. She will know when to use her womanly, feminine charm to get a man to do what a man is supposed to do, or to see if he is that man, and then to turn it up a notch when she needs to. It's about having that balance. That's what all of life is about, is having that balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to play a clip because Cap had asked a question, but I already had the clip prepared. I wanted to go into this area with the conversation. And this is from a scene from a movie. I think this is Fences, where they're having a discussion. And I want to have this conversation, but I don't want us men to forget. I don't want, and I'm going to play the clip and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying when I say I don't want us as black men to forget. Listen at this clip, watch the clip, listen to the clip, and we'll take it from there.
Oh, we're talking about you. We ain't talking about baseball. About you going off and laying up with another woman and bringing her home to me. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about no baseball.
You're not trying to explain it to you the best way I know how. It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I got a life too. I get 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you. Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me? Don't you think ever crossed my mind to want to know other men, that I wanted to lay up somewhere and forget about my responsibilities? That I wanted someone to make me laugh so I could feel good? You're not the only one who's got wants and needs, but I held on to you, Troy. I took all my feelings, my wants and needs and dreams, and I buried them inside you. I planted a seed and watched it prayed over. I planted myself inside you and waited to bloom. It didn't take me no 18 years to realize the soil was hard and rocky and it was never gonna bloom. But I held on to you, Troy. I held you tighter. You was my husband. I owed you everything I had, every part of me I could find to give you. And upstairs in that bedroom with the darkness falling in on me, I gave everything I had to try and erase the doubt that you wasn't the finest man in the world, and wherever you was going, I was gonna be there with you because you was my husband. Because that's the only way I was gonna survive as your wife. You're always talking about what you give and what you don't have to give. But you take too, Troy. You take and don't even know nobody's gonna.
Yeah, I take and don't give. Troy, you
hurt
say
me.
I take and don't
Troy,
give.
you hurt my arm.
I give you everything I got. Don't you tell that lie.
Troy,
Don't you tell that lie on me.
Troy, you hurt me. Troy.
All right. That's right, too. You stay away from around me, boy. You strike out. You living with a full count.
Wow. Cassandra?
Wait, that sounded like a major picture on TV.
Yeah, that was Fences. With Denzel and yeah, Fences. Cassandra, what's on your heart? What did you hear there? Because I wanted to get to this point where we can say, I don't want us as men to forget. And that scene right there told the whole story. I couldn't put the words together to say what that scene just said. We sometimes as men, we forget the joys that we have right before us. We forget how beautiful our black sisters are, man, and how much they have sacrificed, how much they have given and sacrificed for us. That scene told the story. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Man, I'm over here all teared up, teardrops coming down, because boy, that sounded familiar. And probably for several women on here, that may have sounded familiar, because when I met my ex-husband, who's passed now, he was doing construction. He was okay, but he had a dream to have a business, a trucking business. And I took, I was managing businesses, and I took, what I could and invested into him and, in his dream. And I stepped back on some things that I wanted to do, a business that I wanted to start, because I was like, well, if we can get his trucking business up and running, then, I can do what I need to do afterwards. And I helped him. He ended up having, I think, like 4 or 5 trucks. We were doing very well. And then he decided, to bring him anyway. Yeah. So it didn't turn out well for me, but I believe in supporting our men. But I want them to realize that after we have supported you, don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that. That is, man, that was the most painful thing.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. And that's why I say, man, that's why I wanted to have this conversation today. It wasn't necessarily about that part of it. And I love what we talked and everything we put out there. But I just don't want us as men, Captain, I don't want us to forget that our sisters, man, has sacrificed and poured so much and given up so much to make sure that the family and us as men are where we should be. There's nobody, I can't think of anybody that sacrificed more than, and I'm not putting us down as black men. We sacrifice a lot too. But who has sacrificed more than a black woman? Cap, talk to me.
No, brother, you really put it in perspective. That clip, I never forget that whole movie. It has so many principles in it, but we felt that sister's pain of how he gave her all in all to be with him, for him to step out. I mean, it's all about story, man. I don't know, I can't speak for nobody else, but I was that guy too. I was with the father said, a woman believes in your dreams, she gets behind you, and then whatever you do, you get to suffer. And then Kobe Bryant is brilliant as a ball player. He goes and he cheats, man. And then his wife had to stand there after he had committed adultery. I've been with you in your career, and this is what you do, but a strong black woman, she stood there waiting. I believe in your dreams, Kobe. And this is how you reward me? You sleep with a woman at a hotel while you're on a date that I mean, come on. And I got to go before the world and act like, I'm still standing with you, but you violated me. And I think you did a great job, right? I think that clip put everything you trying to get us to understand, especially me, in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes me look at, wow, we just some low down dirty dogs, man. And I thank you for giving that clip, because now I understand what was your motive of asking the question. Now we understand. I knew there had to be a message to your madness, and we appreciate that. And I got to say, man, it just makes me reflect on myself, on what I must do and what I must continue to do to make sure my wife does not have to say that to me.
Exactly.
I've been behind your dreams all these years. I've been standing with you all these years, and now this is what you do. But rather deal with the infidelity of Martin, but she still did it with poise. She never threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
But she had to feel betrayed. She had to feel hurt. But a strong Black woman, she did not turn him over to society and castrate him before the world. She was a strong Black woman. Look at Winnie Mandela. Winnie Mandela stood with Nelson. And what do Nelson do when he get out? He don't stand with her. He does Winnie Mandela. And then, so thank you, brother. I thank you, man. I salute you, brother Raheem. Now you put it in perspective for me. I really appreciate that clip.
Praise
Thank you,
God.
brother.
Praise God be the glory, brother. To God be the glory. Willa, talk to me, sis.
Raheem.
Yes.
I saw that movie. Great movie. I loved it. But every last one of us could come on with a story on how somebody betrayed us or hurt us or, gave us some kind of pain. But I always like to talk about a solution on how, but no matter where you are in your life right now, you can change your behavior. At the top of the list on all of that pain, you could write selfishness. Selfishness. Because it's about what you want. You don't think about how you're going to inflict pain on another individual because you believe that they're not going to find out or they're not going to catch you. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the excitement of the hunt. And those are the mindset of selfish people that don't think about nobody but themselves until the bucket has hit the face. So if I could just throw out anything out there to help somebody to say, start thinking about the pain that you inflict on somebody else by your desires or your selfishness. Raheem, we do it to God every day.
Yes.
We don't think about how he says in his word, the sins that we commit every day, and it's because of our desires and our selfishness, what we want in life. Oh, yeah. You're going to get those. They don't even want to hear it now. But that's okay. Because in life, as a human, and your human behavior, you need some kind of control. So you got to seek out how I can get that under control, and I can't do it by myself. I can't until it happens to you.
Wow. So many different levels on this thing. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, sir. Mr. Hicks?
Yes, sir. I was thinking about that movie and that scene, and just maybe just for the woman expressing herself, showing how just what that same show, and what I saw was the part of Denzel, which was me in many cases in my marriage, where he didn't hear her. He defended right off the bat. And she opened her heart, and he's in the wrong, and he defended himself. He tried to justify himself, and not even recognize the pain that he caused. Yeah, good scene, but great scene. Great reality, how it is. It's just sometimes I think about in my marriage, when my wife was expressing her overwhelming with the kids and everything, and with tears expressing like that, and I heard it, and then I defended.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Rico, talk to me, brother.
That's part. Yeah.
Miss Hicks, finish your thought, sir. Finish your thought.
Oh, just that thought, just that thing that she expressed herself so well, so emotional. That's a great. She should got whatever that top award. She should have got it there. And his immediate response is that he just defended himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the human predicament with us, the situation with us.
Exactly. Rico, what did you hear, brother? Talk to me. What's on your heart?
It sounds like a common situation that you hear, in some, I'm gonna say, separated relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ain't never seen the movie, but it sounds like there's a child involved.
Mm-hmm.
So now, with that child being involved, she's speaking her frustration, but just imagine what the child's frustration is, what they missing out on. And they can't even say nothing because they might get whooped or get chastised for being out of a child's place. So, I see, man, a real life, I see real life situations like that where not only is the father being selfish, but the mother being selfish too.
Mm-hmm.
I know that person from my experience.
Mm-hmm.
He raised
So,
in the movie. In the script, I just want to say one thing. In the script of the movie, when he died, she took that child that he had outside the marriage and raised that child and loved it like it was her own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I ain't watched the movie. I haven't watched the movie, so I ain't even commenting on the movie. I'm just talking about in real life. That's why I don't watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give movies time like that. I watch real life shows and documentaries and stuff. So I ain't never seen the movie. That's why I'm assuming that's what the situation is. But then basing it off of real life experiences, I've seen this without looking at a movie. Mm-hmm. That father abandoned that child. I've seen the father and the mother abandon that child, like I said, in my own situation. But in other situations, I've seen that exact scenario where the man was selfish. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I can't tell you specifically which verses to read in Ecclesiastes, but this treat others as you would have them to want to treat you,
mm-hmm.
that makes sense to me. That comes back to the balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if see, the thing is, from the very root of that situation, even though that's a movie scene, from the root of that situation in real life, that same scenario, you have people that probably got together and didn't really look into the right reasons to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So they already, when it started off wrong because they didn't have it in them to say that, hey, we in this for the long run.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And whatever it takes, we're going to do give and take with each other. We're going to sacrifice. We're going to compromise. We're going to cooperate. We're going to submit. We're going to do this. We're going to act in order and do things publicly and at home to make sure that this works. And somebody said, well, you know what? I want out.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I want out. So now you got a situation where you got a co-parent.
Mm-hmm.
So now this where that situation comes in. So you can't go back and say, well, you know what? You should have decided better. You should have made a better decision. You should have seen all these flaws in the beginning. It's too late. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to evolve.
Good deal.
So that same strong black woman from which y'all telling me, she went ahead and raised that man's outside child. That's what she did. She did what a strong black woman does. Or probably what any strong woman probably would have did. The honorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's talk real life.
Okay. Wrap it up.
How many women would have took that outside child and raised?
Mm-hmm. That's a heck of a question, brother. You got a few that probably would. You got a few that, and others that would not. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta make sure we balance it out. It ain't everybody can't come up under this good umbrella of a strong black woman.
Okay.
Because that scenario, that movie scenario could be totally flipped.
Okay. Hold right there, Rico. Hold on right there. Go ahead, Cassandra.
I wanted to say, and I've told the story before. That same husband that I helped build the business, he did have a child, and I took that child and I raised her until our divorce when she was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So there are women that will go the extra mile. And my friends thought I was crazy. I mean, and they're in ministry. Mm-hmm. And they were like, are you crazy? Who raises another woman? Blah, 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 blah. But I did what God told me to do. Mm-hmm. So we all have to choose how we decide to be strong or weak. Some people said that was a weakness for me to do that. But to me, I saw it as a strength because God told me to take the child in. And I did at 6 months.
Wow.
To 6 years.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Toya, you want to talk to me, sis? Toya?
Yeah, I'm here. No, that was a deep clip, and that's probably a lot of Black women's lives. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for nobody else, but that's one of my stories. When we first met, 15 years, man, with a clown, that God had me be faithful, but God was working on me just being faithful overall. But with a clown, man, I spent a lot of days and nights crying about a terrible relationship because I called myself doing the right thing. So, I understand that burden of pain. But, we made a decision the other day at work. We were questioning, we work in a restaurant and we see different other nationalities. A lot of their kids do whatever, come in and clean stuff, throw stuff all over the floor. And then at the end of the night, we thought to ourselves, when we go out, we don't leave stuff dirty and junked up like that for the most part, most Black people, you know what I'm saying? And we started saying that the reason why we are the way we are in some situations is from the slavery. And we talk about it all the time, how we were reared and bred to be a specific kind of way, to be a doormat per se, to take everything, to stick there through thick and thin, even when it's not even good to you. Even like Cap said the other day, I think that was Cap. Somebody said the other day, how can somebody who's not being good to you teach you the right thing? And they're not being good to you. But there are countless events of women that are paired with terrible men. And, there are accounts of men that are paired with bad women too, But again, let's stay at the topic on hand. We're talking about women. And there are a lot of Black women who have endured that same kind of thing in that video. I mean, in that movie, especially a lot of them a long time ago. And that's life for them. That's what thus saith the Lord for them. But, I'm sorry, I'm one of these new age women. When Jesus said he died for all my sins, he died for me to divorce your raggedy behind. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. That's why I've always been the dominant one in my relationships. And again, God is working on me with that, to be a woman, learn my place, learn my lane. You understand what I'm saying? Know your value. And when you know your value, then you will know and understand why you follow my word, why nobody should have you until they make you their wife. You know what I'm saying? So, and even with that, when you know the word, when you know who God is, when you know his expectation is, it's easier to know who's not worthy of you. You understand what I'm saying? It's easier for you to see you are not of God. So why should I sit up here and endure and follow God's word and you're a devil? You know what I'm saying? So that clip displayed a lot of what Black women go through in relationships. And it displays a lot on the position on how Black men have treated their women over time. And if you look at today, that might be the reason why we what TDJ said, we raised up like men's. You know what I'm saying? The trauma and the abuse, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I got to do it myself. And that's why I can't be submissive. And that's why I'm going to be a strong, bold Black woman, because I don't want to be that woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. And that clip, man, to God be the glory. That clip just fit like a missing piece of the puzzle. It just put everything together. And like Cap said, it put everything in perspective. Let me go to Makita. Makita, what's on your heart, sis?
Ooh, that's it's real deep because I've lived it. And I can say with my situation, I was young, hurt, didn't know who I was, and I got with when I had my second child, which that I did get married to him, and I would say it was a lot of immaturity, a lot of hurt, and a lot of other things that was going on. And in that, I've even he had a baby and brought the baby home. And I came home one day and the baby was there with all her stuff. And guess what? I made sure I was the one to take care of the baby while the baby was there. Because the baby is innocent. The baby is innocent.
Yes.
But when I tell you I was there, I was supportive. But I think where the shift come in at is when you meet somebody and you join yourself with them, you are somewhat alike at that moment. But a lot of times you outgrow that person, you know, and sometimes you start to realize your worth. I'm worth more than this, you know, or the situation. That's not meaning that the person is bad, but when it becomes conflict between the two, you know, I don't encourage no woman to stay and you being hurt. To me, that's not being strong. I was strong when I knew my worth and I picked up and left. That was me being strong.
Yes.
Because I voiced my, you know, hey, I don't like this. Hey, we should. And if you're not listening, why am I keep talking? And you're not evolving with me. So guess what? It's time for me to go.
Yeah.
Because we can hinder each other by just staying together. We're going to continue to hurt each other and hurt the kids.
Good deal. Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Man, look, I want to hear your heart on this, brother. We talked. I don't know if you've been listening to the broadcast. You been listening to this morning?
No, I just picked up around 5 minutes ago.
Okay. We talked about strong black women, and then I played the clip from Fences where did you hear the clip?
No, I've seen the movie.
Okay. The scene that they had outside where she said that she's been right there with him for the last 18 years. And I wanted to play that scene because this whole conversation is, I don't want us as men to forget that our women has made great sacrifices, man, and continue to make great sacrifices for us and the family and for the whole of it all, every day, all day. And I don't want us to ever forget the sacrifice that our sisters has made. What do you say to that, Leonard?
Well, marriage is a personal thing. And, you know, I don't look at things from that perspective. I look at it from the perspective of the relationship between those two people. Now, what one woman does for her man may not be what another woman does for her man. That's how different it is. Everybody has different circumstances in their relationship and how they respond to things. And, you know, it's a difference. When you think about it is, you have to ask yourself, are you really a decent person or not? Because decent people do decent things. Good people do good things, regardless. Because that's their character. So a good person is usually going to do good things, the right thing. Not because, you know, and it doesn't, you know, I remember when you could be raising all type of hell around my mother and she'd send them kids in the other room. Let me take care of this business. You know, come all undone in front of people acting. But whatever it is, she's going to take care of it, especially if it's her responsibility or she feels it's her responsibility. So when we talk about struggle and things of that nature, we don't want to get too broad because everybody's struggle could be different. You may be struggling with, I can't see how this man done that to me. With another woman, her struggle may be, you know what, as a woman, it ain't this baby's fault. So I'm going to take care of this baby, regardless, because she's a decent woman if she chooses to do that.
But again,
and even if
that takes great. Again, that takes great to do that. But it's an option. Either way, it's her option. But to welcome that outside child into the house, and to raise that child just like he or she is her own, that too takes a lot of sacrifice. That takes a lot, man. It takes a lot for a person to do that.
But that's what a decent person does. And it doesn't take a lot for them because that's who they are. They're going to do what they feel is right. And that's what she felt was right to do. As much as she may have despised her husband for doing what he did or whatever, she didn't take and put that on that child. Because she's a better woman. She's a better woman than that. So that's why I stick to that character, Rose's character in that movie. You got to remember, this used to be a play. It came out of the mind of August Wilson and things of that nature. So when it was written to reflect what people deal with. And like some people on this line are telling you right now, okay, here's my story and how I dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a different reason for why they did what they did and those things. So it's not so general to say, well, you know, it becomes a point like on a certain stage, you say, we as Black women. But then there's another aspect that says, as a woman, this is what I do. You know, I do it because I believe it's right to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because even in that movie, we saw a great dynamic of a very strong woman, but Denzel was just as strong. However, he made a mistake. He used to make a lot of mistakes. He had, you know, he looked at it from just his perspective. And then think about the scene where
gotta keep it moving.
He don't cried over this woman. His side piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
He was that bold. He cried over that side piece in front of his heart. You understand? You have to look at the dynamics of that situation and see how it fits with your choice.
Good deal. Stay right there, Leonard. Gotta keep it moving. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, I agree with Leonard, to be honest. It's one of those situations of, I mean, if I would have added any comment, or if that woman would have walked up to me, I would have went, doesn't seem like he's ready to empathize with you. So you have a decision to make. And it's just, has that male learned to be respectful to other people's opinions and views, especially to a spouse?
Say that one more time.
Has that male learned to respect other people's opinions and emotions, empathy, all that stuff of another human being, especially his spouse? To be able to have an intelligent conversation. Because you can't have an intelligent conversation if you're stuck going one way.
Okay. There's a lot going on, and like I said again, that clip really tied a lot of things together and put some clarity on it. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
No, I nothing right now. I just want to, listen to what everyone is saying.
Okay. Willa?
Raheem.
Yes.
Leonard made a statement that any decent person would take that child and do what they need to do, and it'll be easy. I just wanted to clear up the easy part, because I was in my first marriage in a situation like that. And as a decent person, yeah, you do the right thing. But I'm going to tell you about the pain. Because every time you're doing something, you're reminded of the pain that your husband or your whoever they were inflicted upon you in your life. Even though you're doing something that you want to do, it's decent, you're human. That doesn't take away from the human feelings as a human being we go through. That's the strength of what you fight through. The pain somebody else has inflicted on you. But you do the right thing because you know it's the right thing to do. Yeah, I did it. I did it with my first husband. I helped the young lady. I bought her clothes. I took her to her graduation because her mother was on drugs. He was drugs, and they were involved in a situation. But I did that. But every time that I saw that child, not every time, I'm not going to say every time, but you thought about and you think about what the situation on how you got there. So yeah, it's a daily battle with pain. And if you know anything about having a toothache, or it's worse than that,
Wow.
Because you never had a baby as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're human. Women are human. And if you think the pain that you as men inflict on us does not it's not a continuating thorn in our heart, you're sadly mistaken.
Wow. Wow.
Because it does, and women too.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put that out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Captain?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What's on your heart?
Yes.
No, what's on your heart, sir? Because that's a great point, man. We sometimes we forget and we pour things on our women, man, that they don't deserve. And we do things to them, man, in so many different ways, on so many different levels that they don't deserve. What's on your heart, brother?
Well, there's no question. It had most certainly. Like I said, those who've seen the movie, you know, it speaks for itself. I heard Brother Rico said he didn't see the movie, and of course, you know, every movie, sometimes movies are written from realities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they put them in a movie. Some of them come out of a book, you know. I'm sure, as Dr. Leonard said, you know, I think it was a book or script. But, you know, I think what I said before was that it does not apply to everybody. And that's one of the things I think we're very clear on that. You know, we talk in general, but not specific.
Mm-hmm.
So we can find everything we talk about on this show can meet a certain small percentage of people. Not everybody. As Dr. Leonard make a very good point that, you know, decent men treat women decent. But we're talking about, as we started off, and I think Dr. Leonard didn't get the real privilege to see the whole gist of this whole conversation and why it went to where it went. I'm sure he would add quite a bit more to add to it. But the reality is, it was her pain. But he mentioned, and here's what was, I think it was Hicks that said this. He said, but Denzel Washington in the movie, he wasn't feeling her pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a heck of a saying, that when a woman pour out her heart and you trying to justify,
mm-hmm.
that's what probably hurts more. Well, if you didn't do this, see, I would say justify. He was trying to justify it. And that's all of us. All of us in our own way. It's a heck of a thing to man up. We could talk about we men. Every time I hear somebody say, man, I'm a man, brother. Talk to me like a man. Well, anytime a man got to tell you you're a man, 9 times out of 10, he ain't a man.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to learn to man up. And even if it ain't you, even if it does not apply to you, stop using the word I and let's use the word we.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ain't an I, at least we as a people go through that. You can say, I don't go through it, but we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it allows us to be able to address not only the pain that every one of our women go through, but the black man, he goes through pain too.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are two people who are in pain approaching that. But here's the good thing about it. The greatest thing that we can do is to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do that, we're on our way to be healed.
Yeah.
But if we can't acknowledge, if we keep trying to justify, well, it's her fault, his fault, we'll never go nowhere. I'm glad, Brother Badger, your man's back on the line. I ain't heard you mention nobody's name, but as soon as Dr. Leonard, I agree with Dr. Leonard said.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's your man's in there. Be happy to have you back on board, Dr. Leonard. I miss you, dude. All right, thank you, Brother Raheem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me go to let me see who I got. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T, what's on your heart, sis? Toya with a T?
Okay.
Yeah.
I sent you, did you got your messenger?
This is a deep topic, and to each his own. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's understandable, but for me not having a kid and then having to take care of somebody else's, hold on, Tina. That would be hard for me. But I love people, and I would never let a child go without. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll take care of anybody else's child. So it would be a real problem for me to take care of a child that's not mine, and he knows that I wanted a child. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I make sure I'm extra scary, honey. One thing you ain't gonna do is you ain't gonna come home and tell me you got no kids, because you know it's going down. Sorry. I'm just a different kind of woman. You got to have some heart to come tell me that. You know what I'm saying? But for the women that do it, I'm not mad at that. Just hold on. I'm not mad at that. You know, I commend them. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what I would do, because I don't know how I would. You know what I'm saying? I that would be terribly hard for me. But I know that that's life. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we go through as Black women. It's a lot of issues we go through, you know, having kids, breaking up. You know what I'm saying? There's detrimental things that we go through, dysfunction that we go through, and it makes a mess of everything. It makes a mess of the man, it makes a mess of the woman, it makes a mess of the kids, and then they grow up, and it's just a cycle because we never see our way out of it. You know what I'm saying? But again, one thing I can declare is that just me all by myself, I've had as much pain as anybody else as far as I'm concerned. Kids or no kids. I've had the devil attack me in every way he can, just like he did anybody else. Kids or no kids. And the only thing I can say is the only thing that helped me together is God. You know what I'm saying? When I was in this world without him, with kids or without kids, period, nieces and nephews, you know what I'm saying? I was lost out here. And there's no doubt that if he do it for me, he'll do it for a family. So when we start to see, you know what I'm saying, these issues start to happen in our households, and when we start to see these breakdowns, this dysfunction take over as cycles, that's just another indication that maybe we need to get a little bit closer to God, because he's the only one that remotely can closely give us peace behind something like that, right? Because we had people in the Bible who had to give their child away, send their child down a river to someone who they know didn't like their child, just for their child to live. But the purpose that he fulfilled, being sent to someone else and having the Pharaoh's sister take care of him, you know what I'm saying, which was a child not of her own, it wound up working to our good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to think of, even though it may be complicated, even though it may be hard. But so those are the things that we need to talk about in life, we need to get over in life, and this is why we must be super supportive of each other, because that's the only way we're going to stop this cycle, is growing closer to God and then growing closer to each other with respect and dignity.
Absolutely. We got about 20 minutes left in the broadcast. If anybody want to call in and be a part of the broadcast, you're more than welcome. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. And that, what's on your heart, sis?
Hey, you know, listening to Toya, you know, it just brought me to mind. You know, it's women are always known to be that sympathetic, empathetic practitioner. What's good for the goose is not good for the gander, because if a woman were to tell her husband, "Hey, baby, I'm pregnant by another man," oh my goodness, oh Lord, his manhood would be tore up. It would be tore up, and he probably would leave her. So there's a different ball game for men than for women. Now, for me, if he would have come home and said, "Hey, you know, I'm so sorry, baby, you know, I got another baby," you know what I would say? I said, "Really, man, do you know babies are such a gift from God? Let me tell you how we're gonna operate, right? That little thing that you have, right? We just gonna have fun and go to the movies and, you know, vacation. But you know what? Hey, chastity belt on. Have fun, honey. I love you. Okay, what are we gonna plan? Are we gonna plan a business?" I think that women have to really go higher to kind of say, well, you know, what is my purpose in life? What is it that I was born to do? Because I think that when you get to, and matter of fact, I know when you get to what you're born to do, then all this other stuff won't be a distraction to you. Because look, the Bible says that there is no condemnation for those who are in Jesus Christ, who walk out of the spirit, not after the flesh. So I could condemn him all day long, but guess what? Water over the bridge, right? And our grandmothers and grandfathers, they did that very well. They knew who was hanging with who, but you know what? It was a closed society. So I suggest that whatever people are doing out there, let it be a closed society. Let you handle it as a man and a woman. Let us as women, seasoned women, continue to be the great patriarchs and matriarchs of our community, and let's guide our community through. And Toya, hey, kids are coming for you, because you're there. You are so there where you can give all the love and the honor and the glory, right? It's just God is getting you ready for your speaking career all around the country. You're going to find them as you speak all around the country. And so as we move forward, let us all figure out what is our purpose, how do we get there, and how do we strengthen male and female relationships where we de-escalate the arguing of what somebody didn't do for you, and then find out who can do it for you.
Absolutely.
Right? That makes a difference.
Good deal. We got another call from the 901 area code 901. What's your name? Where you calling from? (901). Are you there? Okay. Let's go to Makita. Makita, what's on your heart, sis?
There's a lot. The lady that was just speaking, I agree to a certain degree. But I definitely agree with your, coming from the word, because we have to not focus on condemning people. But at that moment, we have to know, how can we be the light and show and be the difference, but also know the boundary between allowing somebody to hurt or step over you, knowing when to lead and when to stay. And you can still do all that in the same sense of doing.
That's good.
I think that's,
That's good. That's good. That's good. Cassandra, from a counseling standpoint, how would you handle this thing from a counseling standpoint?
What thing?
This
What
whole
part of it?
the clip part of it. If they had to come before you, and she had to pour her heart out like she did on that clip, because she's a heck of an actress anyway. Both of them together, it's amazing.
Yeah, Viola is amazing.
Yes.
My process would be to first talk to them individually. That is always, because it's like you said, it's always two sides to each story, and then it's the truth. So I would speak to them individually, and then I would bring them together. That way I have an idea of where each person is coming from. Then when we come together and she begins to tell that story, then I would require him to at least acknowledge what she's feeling, because it's like he just dismissed. He was like, it's about me. It's about me. Exactly. Somebody said that. Joyce Meyer says that all the time. It's about me. It's about me. And you can't, if you're trying to resolve conflict in your relationship, it can't be where you just direct everything at that person, and you don't want to acknowledge any of your mistakes. How do you resolve if you won't even acknowledge your mistakes? How are you going to get anywhere? So, that would be my process. I would speak to them individually first, and then I would bring them together and then have a conversation.
And what happened?
That's just me.
And what happened a lot of times, what they do, people always try to deflect. They want to deflect it off of them and turn it, if you will.
Exactly.
So that's what happened in that clip.
What I was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to take responsibility for their part in what has happened, but everybody needs to take responsibility if you're going to resolve conflict.
That's it. That's it. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, I'm pretty much vibing with learning how to take responsibility, especially when there's a child involved and things like that. I just a lot of times feel that a lot of people have forgotten how. And in a day and age where you have to constantly stay busy and work and things like that, the one that's staying home to take care of them should be respected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in a mental place to be able to work on your own issues and things, then you probably shouldn't have had. You need to go get help before you can really do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
Oh man, I was just sitting here listening, and what was actually on my heart is this relationship dynamic in our community. And we have to understand why it is this way. And being of the generation that I am from, I can tell you, many of us just turned our back on the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it used to be to the point, like say for instance, the way I minister to the kids in the family, as I will send them a text in the morning with some motivational or scripture and things like that. And they range from high school all the way to 30, age 30 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to find out more ways that I can teach young people how to be good people.
Mm-hmm.
See, we've lost that. And this is what religion and moral ethics play a huge part in what's going on in our community. Because that was the standard of behavior and what was acceptable. And when you stop doing that, you allowed all these other things to become priority to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what we see is people who don't have a God and they have no concern for the next person. I think I commented that on a post about this decent person concept and how we stop violence in our community, is that we have to teach a responsibility that you have to another human being.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If you teach that and you teach them how to behave in relationships, then you can call out that man, like we do, that harms innocent men, women, and children.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get back to the value of, and I love how Annette puts it, because she's very much about repairing that family structure. And if anything I would advise people to do is, if you have young people that you have an audience with them of any type, pick 4 or 5 kids, text them something positive every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Do it every morning at a certain time of day, so they get used to it.
Yeah.
So, and easily you teach them moral value and ethics this way. You know, do a good deed. I was a Boy Scout. That was one of the things we did as a Boy Scout. You go looking for good deeds to do. And we need to get back to that for our young people, so we stop being so harsh with one another in relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Rico, what's on your heart? Tucson, coming to you next.
Yeah, man, it's sort of getting to the point where I'm about to have to repeat some stuff I just said. You know, man, like I said, I think it's all about balance. You know, it's once again, I really can't dive into it if you want me to speak from the aspect of that clip, but I've seen so many real life situations like that you know, I can speak on it. And man, I don't know what I'm gonna do about Annette. Annette, she really took my idea, because I was definitely gonna bring up that point about about if a woman brought a baby home to a man, how that would turn out. Because as I listen to the women say they went through this, I'm like, man, there's a lot of women that went through this. So it ain't just my grandmama and boy, even my grandmothers. And guess what? My granddaddies went through it too.
Yep.
I found out that I had an outside aunt that was my classmate. So now she's my friend classmate. Aunt. You know, she's my classmate aunt. And my grandmama knew about it. I was like, man, I went all these years and I didn't even know. but it was the same thing on the other foot. But being that you were basing this on how strong black women is, I put myself in these situations. You know what I'm saying? When you put a scenario out there, and then I say to myself, well, how would I feel if the scenario had to come to me that way? And then that's when I realized just how strong a woman has to be to accept that. Because like Annette said, man, a man would be ready to tear up house. And so then I thought to myself, is that black woman or that woman that puts up with that, is she doing it because she's strong, or is she doing it out of necessity? Is she doing it because she want to keep the family together? Or was she doing it in the past because that man was the sole provider? And is that the reason why he went up and had two families, or had a whole nother family with her sister, and didn't have no compassion about what he was doing?
Wow.
So, you know, this all boils down to compassion, man. Balance, you know, empathy. You know, if you are ever in a situation where you had to raise somebody, a child in that situation, it depended on what type of compassion you had. But like Willa said, the reality of this is, because I don't think the movie shows this, it's gonna be sometimes you're gonna look at this baby and you're gonna be I'm gonna say reminded of just how low down you were done, and how nobody considered you, or how you would feel, or how it would affect you, how you feel, or how it would affect you when they did what they did. That constant reminder, man, you got to be a strong person to do it, especially if you do it honorably. I mean, I ain't saying being one of those women that get that child and sabotage it and try to treat it like something irrelevant.
Exactly.
Just mistreat it and abuse it because you want to get back. I mean, somebody that really treat that child like their own, that takes a very compassionate person. But you have to have some balance still.
Absolutely.
So, you know, man, this is a deep conversation, man. You know, I hope anybody that's in that situation, you know, make the wise choice, you know, like Toy said, to each his own. But it really is another indication too. Being that we see these relationships like this so much more often now, to me, it's more of an indication that we need to promote people getting into serious relationships later on, because you don't really find out what a person is really like until they start doing some things for themselves and they get on their feet. Because people will change and do some strange things when they start getting money, or when they get grown and they can do what they want to do and can't nobody tell them, or they get a little power. That person that you married or were engaged to or fell in love with might turn into a narcissistic monster.
Exactly. Stay right there, Rico. We got to keep this thing moving. We only got a few more minutes before we get out of here. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
No, not much to say, man. I think this was the part that I did hear. I came back. I heard something that somebody said that maybe a resolve. Start with a group of young people and give them something positive as a guide. You plant a seed or water it, one of the two, and just help them, give them encouraging word. Because it starts with one person at a time. Try to make at least a sort of like an environment for somebody to grow in. But if we don't give them nothing, we continue to go around in the same circle. Everybody has a life is a challenging thing all by itself. But we talked about a lot of things today that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
But if we take some of the advice that was given and pass it along, instead of criticizing our young people, especially, we encourage them to even if somebody we see negative, and when we look at, they say, "Oh, well, I'm a strong," right? And they don't act like it. Well, if you give them the tools they need to become that, then you're a solution to the problem, not just part of it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you, man.
Listen, y'all, it's at 58, man. Anybody have anything they want to say before we get out of here?
I just wanted to give a shout out and encouragement to people who are living these lives and doing it well, that have these mixed families.
Yeah.
Because the mixed family now is dominant. Where you have children from other relationships, and the people who get together to make it work for the benefit of those children, man, that's, honor is due to those people
That's
for
good.
doing that because they're trying to save us.
Exactly. Well, it's time for us to get out of here. But nobody else have anything, man. Everybody good? Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
And if you missed today's show and would like to hear or see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
And Rico, when you said that yesterday, and that was on, she's on now too as well. I don't know how they go together, but she said, make sure that I tell you that the word is not entirety. I said, yes, it is. That's the word. That's our word. That's the Morning Glow word. She wanted me to let you know she thought you were just saying it, and I told her it's an inside joke, something that we do on the inside here. And so
tell her I don't even know the joke, but y'all just requested that I do it, so I do it.
Exactly.
It happened before I came around.
Exactly. It's one of the more fancy words. I come up with my own little words every now and then. But Willow. I think she might be gone, Rico.
Raheem, are you ready?
Willow, are you ready? Are you ready, Willow? Are you ready?
I am ready. I am so ready, Raheem. Let's go. Let's go.
You know what? Now you know today Friday now. You got to take us through the weekend now. You know that. Let's go. Let's go, Willow.
Well, let's see what the Lord says, Raheem. Let's see what he says. Let's go to his throne of grace this morning with expectations and boldness. Let's go expecting a message from him, taking us through the weekend. Let's go, Raheem. Father God in heaven, Lord, we just thank you, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Father, we lift you up this morning, and we praise and honor you this morning. We thank you so much, Lord, for allowing us to get up. Many laid down last night, but many didn't get up. But we thank you, Lord, that you allowed us to get up, to commune one to another. We thank you for this wonderful show that you put on, Lord. Father, we hope that somebody got some help. Somebody got a word from this show, Lord, because you, Lord, you was the one who orchestrated it and planned it. Father, we thank you for the opportunity, for the doors and windows that was closed and shut, that you opened them back up for us, oh Lord. Father, we thank you for it. Father, we're giving you the honor and praise this morning. We glorify you, Lord. Father, we're asking you, oh Lord, to take us through the weekend, being safe, allowing the Holy Spirit to cover us, touch each and every last one that's on this line. Keep them, Lord, in a mighty way. Father, I believe that you're going to do it, and I believe it's already done. I believe that you canceled anything that the enemy thinks he got planned for our lives, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for this show. I thank you for Raheem and his family, Lord. Keep them, Lord, in a mighty way. We honor you, we glorify you, and we praise you in Christ Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
There we go. Now we can close the show. Now we can close it down. Anybody have anything on their heart before we get out of here, man? It's time for us to get on out of here. It is now 10:02. Time for us to exit today. So if everybody's hearts and minds are clear, we're going to get on out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:02. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great weekend. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Have a good weekend.